Why is it dark as fuck? Fucking dark, man. How'd you change that? Why is it so fucking dark? It's not that dark in here. Actually, it's pretty fucking dark. Oh. Why is it? Oh, fuck it. Customization. I guess just put a fucking light on it. Oh, that's better. Hate this guy, but love your work. That's fine, man. I don't care. Also, you would only say that online, so it's all good. This thing is fucked, man. Graham. I should have known. Immediate hate, man. Fucking hell. The internet's funny. How do you fucking do this, though? All right, I guess that looks all right. It's all on a weird fucking thing. I can put it on top of the Coke can. I guess. Tell some black. Why is it so dark? I don't want that top light on. It's a fucking nightmare. Right, one sec. How do you actually get the? I will start answering the questions in a minute, but I fucking hate stuff like this. I don't like live streaming. It's really boring. But you know, I decided to do it. Can you like hear me? Got to upgrade your setup, dudes. Fucking hell. All right, the way it's gonna work is I'm gonna answer the questions that you can hear. Yeah, cool. Audio's good. Okay, so I'm gonna answer the questions that people asked in the community tab first. Well, as we go, and if you want a question answered, you're gonna have to do that super chat thing. Spend your money. Yeah, basically. Feet pick real quick, bro. Fuck the internet, man. Yeah. Oh my god. All right, one sec. Or ETA. I don't know what that means. Yeah, if you want it answered quicker. One sec. Oh, this laptop's about to fucking die. Okay, that should work. Why is it so fucking dark though? It shouldn't be that dark, should it? I guess that works, huh? Is that too? Does that look mental? I don't know if it's just my screen or what. Oh, ETA, right. I thought you meant ETA. I thought there was a Lord of the Rings map in the background. Nah, it's Chernobyl. Actually, I got it when I went there. I thought that was cool to have. Why is it so fucking dark? Make more found footage horror flicks. Never done that. This is resting on a Red Bull can, so I don't know if it's. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to have to just leave it like that. Oh, but also, this laptop don't work properly. It won't charge if... I know, there's an iPad. I know. Actually, fuck. Right there. Oh, my God. Oh, fuck me. Right, so... literally everything's fucked. Everything I own is fucked. Everything's broken. Nothing works properly. Fuck my life. Oh, sick. Super chat. All right, one sec. Oh, that's cool. People actually do that. All right, that's cool. I thought, do you know what? Sometimes I watch it. I watch people do like live streams, getting mad super chats, and I swear they're laundering money. Right, what I do have is. Oh my God. Jesus. Right, that's a bit, bro. I got an iPad right there. Oh, good. The iPad's dead as well. Fucking hell. Everything's fucked. Right. Fuck it. Just do it like this, I guess. I can go on this tab to look at the other one. I could do it on the phone, I guess. No, I can't even see it. You can tell I don't know how to stream. Copy the front. There's a lot of people here anyway. I don't even know how many people are there. Where does it tell you? Oh yeah, over 100. All right, cool. Oh God. Right. So if I look at community, and if I look at the comments, so what we're gonna do is okay. So I should get it sorted now. So if you want to, I mean, what the fuck is this? So I was gonna say, if you want to, I'm gonna answer the questions that were put out on the community tab first. And the idea was I'll read them first, and then if you want your question answered, you're gonna have to do that super chat thing. Like if you want it answered quick in the chat. I don't know how long I'll do this for because I fucking hate stuff like this, to be honest with you. But yeah. But then I just see here, so there's a super chat, right? So how the fuck do I look at it? It's mad. And there's someone has sent one, but I can't read it. How do you even look at it? That is mad, mate. How do they not have like a thing that says click here to read the super chat? Someone tell me. How do you read the super chat? It didn't come with a message. That's probably why then. All right, thanks for whoever sent that. All right, fuck it. So let's start. Right. So the first question was, will you ever be covering Rojava or any Kurdish struggles again? The developments in Rojava recently have been very interesting, like the new Kurdish anarchist group that's killed IRGC members there. I've not heard of a Kurdish anarchist group in Iran, to be honest. That's the first I've heard of that. But yeah, I do want to go back to Rojava, but the problem is it's very difficult to get there now. You have to go across the border in the KRG. For various reasons, they're not very fond of me there. So I'm not sure that it would work out that well. There are other ways to get across, but it's very difficult to get there is the problem. Yeah, I don't know. What's the chat saying? You have to go to your live dashboard if you're not already. You will see supers there in the live chat. What the fuck is the live dashboard, mate? How'd you look at it? Pure boomer, man. Pop out chat. Oh, okay. How do you look at the live dashboard? All right, so you can pop out the chat, but it doesn't fucking stay there. What's the point? All right, the chat's gone now. All right, it's back. Where is live dashboard? Seriously, where does it say live dashboard? Nowhere, literally nowhere. God, I hate this. It's so like there's nothing intuitive about this, like nothing at all. Like YouTube, like nothing intuitive about it. All right, here's a test super chat low. All right, that one worked. All right, thanks. So that worked. So what it was that whoever sent the other one, there was no message. How do you even get them? Like, how do you spend it? Anyway, I did say, so we hit 100,000 subscribers. I said, I definitely will do this. Loads of people were like, oh, you have to do it. And I didn't, because I don't really like doing these kind of things, but I did promise I would do it. And there has been a lot of people that have asked questions. Do you know King of the Streets? Asked Moritz / what do you think? Yeah, King of the Streets, actually. I find it quite interesting. I really want to make something about them. Obviously, it wouldn't be with Popular Front, although it is technically conflict, you know. But I want to make something as a separate project about King of the Streets. I messaged them and they were like, didn't you email us before? And I didn't. I was like, no. And then they were just like, fucking ignore me. They're pretty rude about it, which who cares? You know, tough shit. Why do they want to hear from me, I guess? But I'll probably try and reach out to them again. I'm really interested in English Wilf. Him and his wife compete in Bare Knuckle and King of the Streets. For anyone that doesn't know what Moritz said, King of the Streets is a real underground fight club here in Europe. And it's weird. It's a fight club. I guess it's illegal, whatever, technically. But it's got the kind of production values of like a proper production. I think it's interesting. Some of the fights kind of shit, but some of them are like really good. The thing with it as well, there's no rounds, there's no rules. You can eye gouge, you can bite. It's fucking mad. And mostly it's for hooligans. They also have like a no politics thing, which I find quite interesting. They literally said you can have Nazis, ISIS. They're like, we'll let anyone fucking fight. And they literally have like quite a few fucking open neo-Nazis fighting. It's good when you see them get their heads kicked in, but it doesn't always happen. Okay, another super chat. Thank you from their hairy cleavage. That is fucking disgusting, mate. But yeah, let me read it. So, did you see the recent farcical Vice documentary on right-wing extremism in America? Would you have any thoughts on it? No, I don't really watch Vice anymore, to be honest. They do good stuff. Hindersan, she's a friend of mine. She does really good stuff. Michael Anthony Adams, he does really good stuff still for Vice News. The guy that runs Vice News UK, Sean, is a fucking lovely guy. I really like him a lot. But I do think, you know, it's kind of weird because I have friends there still. Sometimes you talk to them about it and they're kind of, I don't know, they're in this weird kind of thing where I think, you know, I don't want to criticize. Their work's good. I don't want to criticize, you know, if I'm criticizing Vice, I'm not criticizing them. But it's a little bit awkward. I feel like I don't want to talk about it around them. So you don't really hear too much, you know, because obviously they still work there and I guess they believe in it and whatever. But I do think Vice has lost its way in terms of like it really had a soul. It was media with a real soul. And it just kind of lost that, you know, it just really kind of lost that. And I think that's quite obvious. And, you know, it goes to, you don't really hear about it anymore. The only people who really hear about Vice and stuff still is like other reporters. Oh, we won the journalism award. Like, who gives a fuck? No one cares. But again, Hintersan, check her shit out. She's top fucking reporter. All her shit is great. Like, she doesn't make bad stuff and she's bang on. But I don't know about this farcical Vice documentary on right-wing extremism. I know they're very keen to jump on everything, like everything that isn't essentially neoliberal is right-wing extremism to a lot of their reporters now, which is unfortunate. But there's a lot of them that are really good. Clapton Punks and Popular Front collab merch. Yeah, I would definitely do a merch collab with Clapton Punks. I really like them a lot. Sean, that is one of the main guys there, really, really good fella. I really like him a lot. He's the guy that put on our first screening. In fact, I'm going to write about that because I'm going to write that down because he's a great lad, and I think it would be really fun to do like you know, like put it out on my laptop on my computer. I think it'd be good to do that. Yeah, good idea. All right, this is cool. We actually got like super likes. Thanks very much, people. That's like really actually like really supporting what we're doing because we are fucking broke. So Try for Life asks, do you think Saudi versus Iran hot war is possible, and what role, for example, would the Kurds have in it? Saudi versus Iran, a hot war? I don't think so. I think there's just way too much business interests going on there. You know, whilst okay, they're not allies, obviously. There's a lot of business going on behind doors. And I don't think that they would, like, no one wants that to happen, you know, and I think the Americans, even they don't want that to happen. Certainly the West, we don't want it to happen. Like my country, you know, as disgusting as it is, sells loads and loads of weapons to Saudi Arabia every year. I just don't see that that's how they want it to kind of pan out. But it's not a region I know that much about, to be honest. I would argue that now is probably one of the best times for it to happen in terms of America, Saudi Arabia's point of view, because Iran still has these protests. But I don't see it, you know, I don't see it. And what role would the Kurds have? I think they would have the role they always have, you know, making the best of a bad situation. I think they would, you know, Pijak, Kamala, what is it? KDPI. I think those kind of militia groups would form up a little bit stronger, probably get involved, but I think loads of others would happen. To be honest, those kind of groups like Pijak, Kamala, all of those kind of Iranian Peshmerga or Kurdish militant groups, they're a lot less they're a lot less involved with the people than the more popular uprising. You know, there's a big difference between mountain guerrillas that do stuff now and then versus the men and women that are being really brave and getting killed in the streets, they're not the same. You know, it's not that they're like either one is good or one is bad. They're just different, very different. All right, let me go back to the questions from the thing. Oh fuck it, this is too difficult to look at one and then look at another one. Like, anyway, let me answer this question. So someone said, haven't you think about launching a worldwide net of journalists to make monthly reportages about stuff going on in different sides of the world? I think Popular Front should begin to grow into something way bigger, even global, than just an underground internet media. We're not just an underground internet media, definitely not what we are. We're the fastest growing grassroots conflict reporting platform in the world by a fucking mile. I really like what Popular Front is doing nowadays. People really need free media like Popular Front. Keep going on. Appreciate it. I don't think we're underground. We don't want to be underground because why would you try and form a clique? You know, you want to make stuff for other people. I want my journalism to be seen by as many people as possible. I don't make journalism for the other journalists, and I don't make it for some like underground clique. Definitely not. But yeah, I do really want to expand. I mean, the only reason I'm the reporter in all of the docs is because that's all I can afford. You know, if I could get a team of reporters to be in front of camera, I'd have like cells. You know, like I'd have a unit here, unit there, like cameraman, editor, reporter. You go and cover this, go and cover this, go and cover this. But I don't have the money for that. We just don't make enough money. You know, the Patreon does well, and I funnel a lot of my freelance work back into Popular Front, which is, you know, I always say this, but my accountant doesn't like that. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? But, you know, I believe in what I'm doing here with Popular Front. So, you know, we funnel a lot of money into it. And we don't get much back. You know, we make a loss every single time we make a documentary. I mean, even something as small as the latest doc, Partisan 22, about the Russian partisans. We lost, I reckon I've made £5,000-6,000 loss. You know, YouTube doesn't let us monetize anything. And yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. The Patreon, to be honest, you know, I'm going to be really transparent. The Patreon's been stagnant for about a year. You know, every time we lose some and gain some, it just stays about there, you know, which it's doing okay. It's not bad at all, don't get me wrong, but it's just not enough to go and do that. What I want to do with Popular Front, I need an investment. I need a big chunk of money. I need someone to go, here's 100 grand. But, you know, because I have this idea, I'm not having some fucking lunatic take even, I mean, no one's having a single percentage of the company, that's for sure. And, you know, it's unlikely that an investor is going to get, to be honest, their money back. You know, how? Like, I mean, what we need is, you know, a production company or a channel to go, let's do a collaboration. Last year, I had a like meeting with Netflix, and ostensibly it was kind of about maybe doing like, you know, a Netflix show, a series, but it's Popular Front, so Popular Front on Netflix. And I was like, yeah, fuck, that'd be great. You know, as many people as possible can see my shit. And, you know, as long as I've got control of it, happy to do that. And then in the meeting, it became very, very clear. Firstly, the person that kind of started the meeting was like, who are you, sort of thing. And I was like, what? You know, like the person that actually brought the meeting together wasn't even there. So we rescheduled it, which was incredibly disrespectful of them. And then when we rescheduled it, again, this other person kind of forgot and was just like, I think they knew who we were. I think they were just, for some reason, some weird fucking power move to be like, who are you? So I was like, okay. And then it became very clear in the meeting that they basically wanted to poach all my ideas. They kind of offered me a job, actually, not offer me a job, well, yeah, kind of, to be like, hey, come on as a producer on this series. Give us all your ideas. You can produce it and fuck off, you know, sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, this is going nowhere. And they were like, oh, send us this and that. And I just said, yeah, see you later, bye. So that was a kind of ruse in a way to get in there, which was a fucking nightmare. But what can you do, you know? These people are like that. I mean, I do want to do a lot more collaboration. I would love, even again, like with one of the news channels in Britain, a big one, they were going to do a cut of plastic defense. Too many cooks in that kitchen, and it kind of fell apart. Fucking boiling in here. What the hell? So I kind of got to a point where I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not interested. I don't like people wasting time. Like, I don't like this thing where the TV people were like, oh, we want to do this with you. We love what you're doing, but we're going to take 6 months to do it to even get it anywhere. Like, no, you want to do it now. Show some respect. You know, like I wouldn't, if you asked me for something, oh, can you produce like this series? I wouldn't go, yeah, give me a year before I feel like getting up off my ass to do it. I wouldn't. You do it. So it's got to be reciprocal. You know, I am not having someone be like, yeah, let me take everything you've created and then use it for my own purposes. No, we're we're not at a level where we have to do that. Very clearly, the success of Popular Front shows that you want to work with us. It's a collaboration, you know. So we'll see. Anyway, next super chats on that. That's really cool. Super chat, Eric. Someone said they want to collaborate with me on something regarding Taiwan. Email me because I want to do a doc there. I had everything lined up, but it didn't kind of work out too well. Any thoughts on Greece? That's really vague. Yeah, I love it. I love Greece. I think it's a great place. Eric, I think Heka. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Any documentaries or docu-series that you really enjoyed in 2022? Let me think. Do you know what I actually really, which is very weird of me to say, because I think Netflix, a lot of their series and their format and their template is just an embarrassment to filmmaking. But I liked this series they did called Texas Killing Fields. And it wasn't too long. You know, like Netflix, they'll make what should be an hour-long documentary. They'll make it 8-hour series. They didn't do that with it, and it was edited very nicely. It wasn't shot great. It was fine. It was kind of boring, but the editor, whoever edited it and whoever signed off on it, did like a really cool job. It was quite different. It was a little bit basically it was as close to like mainstream, but with like a bit of quirkiness you can get, you know, which I thought was quite cool. I actually watch a lot of true crime stuff. I'm very interested in it all. I really hate the idea that true crime is this kind of like people snigger at it as like as a genre. It's amazing. I think it's great. I think it needs to go back to how it used to be though. Like In Cold Blood is true crime. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is true crime. Happy Like Murderers is true crime. Great books. I remember reading them years ago. I was like, true crime's incredible. I want to write a true crime book one day. I'll do a true crime thing, but it needs to be brought away from the wine mums and it needs to be put back in a cool spot, you know. But anyway, what else did I like? I liked what's it called, Danger Zone or some shit. Oh fuck, let me look that up. Adam Curtis, pull that up, Jamie. Adam Curtis, new doc. Someone tell me what it's fucking called. Literally, Trauma Zone. Okay, Trauma Zone. Yeah, Trauma Zone I thought was really, really good. I wanted Adam Curtis to narrate that though. I think he's great. A lot of people like kind of do this very, you know, like I've seen people doing a satire of him. And it's like, fuck off. Like the guy, I mean, it's funny, don't get me wrong, but it's like you can tell some of it is quite like this deep-rooted snobbishness about it because he's doing something a bit different. And I just think a little bit like, when you fuck off and you make something cool, like he's the only person at BBC making like really groundbreaking stuff and really original stuff. Even Louis Theroux doesn't do that now. He's just made like a chat show with like Helen Mirren or something. You know, like it's like Adam Curtis is just, everything about him is incredible. I wish if I had like someone was like, here, here's like £2 million. I'd go to people like Adam Curtis and be like, please, I need you to make a doc for Popular Front. Like, I love that kind of style. But I think that him having he just did it with the writing instead of the voiceover was just got a bit annoying. Like, and it had his imprint on it in every way it was made, but it didn't have his voice in it, which I wanted to hear, you know. But that's how it was. So yeah, Trauma Zone was great. Oh, Gisto, what's happening, bro? You didn't say anything, but you sent us a $5. That's really cool. Josh Judge, where can I send you the, what does that say? Where can I send you the TG for the Kurdish anarchist group in Iran? I can't post links here. They've got an Insta too, and some of them are YPG/J veteran. Really? Okay. If you send it to, hang on, let me type it now. Ah, fuck, I don't even know how to do that. I can't even reply. This the fucking AI, not the AI, was it the GUI or whatever? It's fucking shit. Yeah, Josh Judge, if you go on my website, jakehanrahan.com, and then if you just go on contact, you'll see my email, just send it there. Roland Cook said, just saying, thanks for the continued amazing content, Jake. Thank you very much, mate. Really do appreciate that. The fucking table keeps wobbling. I've got the webcam on a Red Bull can, which is not ideal. Oh, well, what can you do, you know? My laptops won't charge. They're both fucked. That's great. That's great. I love Apple. It's great. Can you make a follow-up doc on Deterrence Dispensed? Yeah, I mean, I really want to, but, you know, God rest his soul, J-Stack's dead, so I can't go back and see him. And if I went to America to, like, meet some of the Deterrence Dispensed lads, well, first I'm banned from America, but hopefully that's being lifted this year. But secondly, it's like I would love to do that, but I mean, is that worth doing a doc on? Is, you know, I feel like a lot of people have done that kind of thing. What I wanted to do, what would literally be the Terence Dispense 2, essentially, or at least the kind of spiritual successor to it, would be go to Myanmar and film, you know, get access to and film the factories where they're building the FGC-9s for the rebels there. But it'd be very hard. And the rainy season, I looked all into it. The rainy season in Myanmar is just a nightmare. You're talking like probably a week walking to get to where you need to go. And if you get caught, that's it, dead. You know, 100% dead by the junta. So I'm getting older now. You know, I mean, I'm not old, I'm 32, but I have more responsibilities in my life, family and stuff like that. I'm just not taking them risks anymore. I just not, like, you know, when I was 25, I'd have ran across that border. But it's not so much getting into Myanmar, it's getting to the places where the factories are and, you know, safely doing that in a way that won't get you murdered. And I just don't know how to do that, to be honest with you. But I would love to do it. I would love to do it, but we'll see. There will be something, I reckon, one day, but not yet. Oh, fucking hell. There's a lot of super chats. That's really cool. How do I find them though? Scroll, I guess. What am I doing? All right, I hope this isn't someone being a cunt and it's just someone laughing, but it says Aram Shabanian is a lie. Aram Shabanian is one of our guys. Like, he works with us a lot. He's been with us from the start. I don't know why someone's saying he's a lie. What does it even mean? But he's a good fucking lad. He's definitely not a liar. Beat Conductor said, thanks a lot for your work and the Midlands representation. Yes, mate, every day. Have you considered covering groups like PA, or is it a case of not wanting to fuel the fire? PA? Is that Patriotic Alternative? Fucking scumbags, man. I wouldn't want to cover them. I just want to, I want to fucking... Yeah, I don't like them. They're a fascist group in England. I mean, there's no conflict there, really, you know, until they're getting into big scraps or there's some kind of network against them or they're doing stuff. Then we would cover it. But people seem to forget this. Popular Front only covers war and conflict. And yeah, okay, the conflict part of it can be, you can stretch that quite a lot. For example, like a protest is a conflict. You know, there's a conflict taking place. Conflict is taking place when it gets violent, I should say. An anti-tech group doing various weird attacks across wherever, that is a conflict because it's a conflict. Whenever someone's doing the violence in a political manner, for us, it's a conflict, and that comes under conflict and we'll cover it. But PA are not doing that. They're just a bunch of fucking fascist windbags that like sit at home crying because not everybody in their community is white anymore. The sooner those dinosaurs die out, the better. And I am 100% ideologically opposed to them. And I hate them. You know, that's all I really got to say to it. They're making the country worse. Someone said, hey Jay, feel free to answer or not. Just curious if you had any advice for someone coming out of J school, journalism school, I guess, who wants to do reporting in countries in conflict. I know it's not an easy question. Don't do it, is my advice every single time. Don't do it. Don't do war. Don't cover war. Don't go to conflicts. Don't put yourself in danger. The industry is corrupt beyond words. It's disgusting. Awful people will be around you all the time. And you won't get paid that much. And it's not worth dying over. But that said, you're probably going to do it anyway if you want to do it. And there's a lot of positives as well. But I don't want to push them because I don't want to be the guy that someone goes, oh, yeah, I like the idea that he said there. I'll go to war and then they die. Fuck that. I don't want that to happen. To be honest, that's like a thing that really I find difficult. Like, you know, I was saying, oh, I want other reporters to work at Popular Front. I don't know if I could send another person. If I went, hey, you want to cover this conflict? Go. And then they died, I would not be able to live. Like, I couldn't. That would weigh so heavily on my conscience. God knows how when I worked at Vice, how the bosses were like, yeah, fuck off, go. You know, and like we were like kids basically going out to fucking war. But I'm glad they did, don't get me wrong. I couldn't do that. So I think the way it would work, it would be, I'd say it would probably work where it's like, you want to do it with us, make the film and then fucking come to me and then show me what you've got. Maybe we'll buy it off you and maybe we'll work together and it'll be branded up as Popular Front and whatever, which sounds mad. People might be like, that's fucking insane, but I mean, I started doing stuff like that. I was like, before I even worked at Vice, I was working at ways to try and make films on the cheap. And then I was like, my plan was like, fuck it, I'm going to edit the thing and just send it to them because they wouldn't listen. But eventually I got my job there, so it was okay. But not to say that Popular Front is anywhere on the level Vice was back then or wherever it will be, but it's just like, I don't want anyone to die, you know, on my watch. I mean, too many people I know have died already in these violent wars, so I don't know. Fucking rest in peace to everybody, you know what I mean? But yeah. Next question. Sorry, Hat. Oh yeah, he's a cool guy, man. He's one of our guys. He like one of our supporters. And he is a great artist. Looking forward to Bando. Keep up the great work. Yeah, Bando magazine is this idea I've had where it'll be like a different platform, nothing to do with Popular Front. And essentially it will be like a magazine. I want to go into like video stuff as well, but we'll see. But I just saw that there's this big gap where kind of weird underreported stuff and away from war is just not really focused on anymore. Like no one cares about that stuff really. They get well, people do care, but like commissioning editors were like, no one cares about that. It's like, no, they do. So the idea was I wanted to make this kind of media platform, Bando magazine, which is kind of, I mean, the name, you know, like a bando is like a building that's been abandoned and used for illicit purposes. But also it was like, well, the idea is it's like media for everyone that's been abandoned by the kind of media. It's so hot in here. I don't get what's happened. Anyway, and what we'll do is we'll report on like just like gritty underworld, underbelly elements of life. And without any kind of political message or anything like that, just like we'll do it ourselves. We're separate, and this is interesting. And yeah, I mean, it's something I've really, I mean, a lot of people, when I kind of announced I was doing it, a lot of people really like jumped at me and were like, let's do it. I'm gathering articles right now, but it's money, man, and I need investment, man. I just cannot do this stuff without, you know, I just cannot keep spending money as if it's like, you know, without the return. I mean, Popular Front is just mad in a way, like to think that we'll, you know, like I think like the Armenia doc we did cost £10,000, which is cheap for a documentary of that quality, but it's still a lot of money. And oh no, just fucking stay. And you know, it didn't even get 100,000 views because it got immediately censored and put behind an age restriction by YouTube because it covers war crimes, and that's not advertiser friendly. It also got mass reported by ultra nationalist Turks and Azeris. So what can you do? So things like that, it's very difficult, you know. Someone said Sabs all the way. Yeah, 100%. I support the saboteurs. I think you're on about the Hunt saboteurs. Yeah. I've been following your journey since you were on Milk the Cow. You're someone to be admired. You're a fucking diamond, mate. Thanks, mate. I mean, I'm just a normal guy, but what the fuck was Milk the Cow? That rings a bell. I was on a podcast years ago. It was an Irish guy, right? Scottish guy, maybe. Anyway, super chats. Top lad, thanks for always staying real. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I didn't think anyone would come on with a super chat. I'm surprised. Maybe I'll do this more often, actually, because this will, I mean, there's a fair bit of money there. Like, it will certainly go towards. I mean, I could pay for a flight for a documentary with this that's coming, I think. Well, I think we're going to do a fundraiser at some point this year because all my equipment is fucked. Like everything is fucked. Like we did one at the start actually when we were only a year old. We raised 10 grand. And I was like, fucking hell, like that's mad. So I think, you know, and we were like not even a quarter of the size of what we are now. So I think maybe we could get a decent bit of money because I want to do a whole series, not just a doc here, a doc. I want to do a whole series. Need new equipment. Everything's fucked. Like anyway, we'll see. I hate to be moaning about it, but it's just like it's just like it's. I don't know, man. It's fucking. It drives me crazy. What can you do? You know. Oh fuck! What is going on here? All right. Sorry, my things just jumped. Did I press something there? Why is this jumped? Okay. Any coverage on situation in Moldova, pro-Russian versus pro-EU part? Thank you for amazing work. I've been to Moldova. I actually covered. It was really embarrassing. Well, not for me. I found it quite funny, but it's kind of embarrassing. When I worked at Vice, there was an election happening, and there was like the pro-Russian politician versus the pro-West politician, and all these tents started popping up. It looked like Maidan. I was like, fucking hell, that seems legit. Read some stuff about it. Heard Simon Ostrowski wanted to go and cover it. He's great. Don't get me wrong. But so when I knew that, I was like, okay, this is a good story. And I just convinced our commissioning editor. I was like, let's go. So they sent us, me and my best mate Phil, we got to Moldova and we went to the Maidan, the Moldovan Maidan. And it became very clear that it was kind of a hoax. There was no one in the tents. There was a load of polystyrene in the tents. I really remember that. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, this is not right. And you kind of went there and everyone was like, oh shit, like, you know, like, like reporters. We went in one tent and it was quite sad. There was just like some homeless war veteran living in there. He was absolutely smashed off his nut, drunk as a skunk. And I was like, right, this is just sad. Like, this isn't what it was meant to be. And we were meant to be there for like several weeks to do these dispatches. I think we did like 2 like 5-10 minute dispatches. I had the worst cold I've ever had. I was so ill. I cut my hand open by accident. I had to go to like, it's really bad cut. Like, you see like the scar. I cut it on this like broken door thing, like just literally messing about with my mate. Caught my hand, and I had to go to this like hospital in the middle of the night. And it was the main city's hospital, and the fucking ceiling was falling in. And I was like, oh man, like covered in blood. And I was waiting in the waiting room. Everyone else in there was like bashed to bits, like they've been fighting. It's a Friday night. This doctor comes out and starts shouting at everyone. And I kind of held my hand up like, oh, bro, like, I don't know I don't speak English, but like my hand's fucked. He started shouting at me, like basically saying, like, you fucking thugs, why are you all fighting? And I just said, sorry, I don't understand. And he went, oh my God, I'm so sorry, because I thought you were, I thought you were from Moldova. He's like, I speak English. I used to work in England. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. He's like, you come ahead of everyone else. I said, nah. It's like, no, I can't do that. He's like, fuck them. Like, they're drunk. They don't care. And everyone was like, go. I was like, all right, fuck it. So I went in and he gave me the stitches and he literally said to me, he said, as soon as you get to England, you must go and get these removed and get proper ones put in. He's like, this is a botched job. He's like, this is not good. Not that there's anything wrong with their nurses. They just didn't have the right equipment or anything like that. It's a very corrupt country. Everyone's stealing, everyone's on the take, like in authority, not the normal people. And I didn't get it done. I should have. That's what the scar's about. But yeah, fuck that shit. Moldova was a mad place to be. And we worked with a really nice fella, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd have to see real evidence of shit going down there before I went back. It's a very passive, like people are quite passive there. I think it's maybe something to do with USSR kind of attitudes, maybe, or just the culture there is very chill. I don't know, but considering how much corruption goes down, it's mad. Like, it was very banal as well. Like, for example, the guy we were working with, the fixer, he's born and bred there. He did really well for himself as like an IT guy, but worked as a fixer now, and then I enjoyed it. Nice fella. And he was saying to us, we were walking along the street. This is like the capital city. And he said, look at the cobblestones. You know, when you have a street with the cobblestones and whatever, and there's, I don't know, there's, in between it's not just cobbles, is it? In between it is concrete or grouting, I guess we'd call it in England. So you can't just pick the cobblestones out. They didn't have it there. And I kept like kind of noticing, because I was like, fucking hell, what is this? And he explained to us, he's like, even something as basic as a path, a footpath, when the contractors came in to put them cobblestones down, instead of buying the whatever it was they needed to put in between them to hold them in place, whoever was in charge of that just stole the money and was like, fuck it, just put it down and put like mud in between it. So even something as basic as a footpath was just such a mess. And he was just like, he was telling us like so many things here that are just, people are just stealing from the most basic things. And the people in power kind of don't do anything about that. Again, though, this was like 7 or 8 years ago, so maybe it's changed. I don't know, but yeah, I'm sure people are like, no, it's not like that, but it was like that. Great content, thanks. Any chance of zine reprints in the future? Probably not, because it's an absolute living nightmare to send them. If I could get a publisher of the magazine and a distributor, someone that would print it and send it without me touching it, done, I'd do it. But I have to single-handedly send every single magazine. And we sold like 900, I think, more than 900, nearly 1,000 copies of the latest one. And before that, I think even the second one, because we did a reissue with the second one, I think we sold like 1,500, like loads of them. My house was like a fucking factory at one point. And to do that is a nightmare, because sending something from England to a different country is a fucking nightmare. It's not put it in the thing, put your thing on, off you go. It's you have to sign out all these custom forms. You know, England is an absolute joke of a country, and we just have all these weird things going on. And the price of sending anything has gone sky high. To give you an idea of how expensive it is, I think so. We did the magazine issue 3, 900 copies more than, sold all them. I think they were 13, 14 quid each. I gave half the money to Doyle, or Spice Bag as people know him, the designer, because he did that up front. I was like, fuck it, let's split it 50-50. I sent them all as well myself, and it was about £6,000 in postage. So we made very little actually after that. So it's kind of like, what was the point? But I mean, there was a point, but I don't know. Next question. I'm just going to read these super chats. I was going to read all the chats from the community tab, but people are actually spending money to ask questions, so I got to answer. Like, that's really fair. Mahad asked, he said, love your content, man. Thanks for everything you do. Really like the Q&A. Is this something you plan on doing regularly? Would love to see it. I mean, maybe if people want me to, why not? I would rather not be talking about war all the time, though, to be honest with you. Like, I know, like, I'm kind of known for that, but I'm getting very, there's a lot more things I'm interested in, you know. Like, if you read my book Gargoyle, you can see I don't just cover war, you know. Not there's anything wrong with that. We're on the Popular Front fucking channel. Obviously, that's what people want to know about. But yeah, this thing keeps jumping, man. Yeah, maybe I'll do it more often. I don't know if people want it. Yeah, I mean, fuck me. There's like 200 people. Like, that's a lot in my opinion. I mean, maybe not in streaming world, but to me, that's quite a lot. Next super chat says, big fan from New Zealand. What's your thoughts on the situation between Serbia/Kosovo? Well, I guess it's kind of Serbia versus Albania, right? Because each side claims Kosovo is theirs. Each side has, you know, there are Kosovo Albanians, Kosovo Serbs. Man, I think it's it's a good question. We're actually doing on the 20th of this month, meant to be recording a new podcast episode about it, because I do understand that things have changed there a little bit, even recently. Former Serbian police officer, from what I remember, quit his job with a load of other, Serbian policemen. Oh, fuck off! What are you doing? Oh, cool. 1% battery. That's great. I love that. It's literally charging. Jesus God. Yeah. What is the point of anything? Right. You see this trick? I learned it. I mean, it's not a trick, but we were in Rojava, and Habat, best person to ever work with. All the electric went off, and like within a split second, she did that, and then put her water bottle on top, and like everyone else did the same. I was like, huh. I was like, that's cool. I love stuff like that. I really love stuff like that. It's just simple but very effective. Anyway, everything's fucked in this fucking house. Why weren't the laptops charged? Like, what is going on? It's just madness. Anyway. Right, okay, so what was I asking? Oh yeah, Kosovo, Serbia. So what I understand the situation is that the police officer stepped down. He quit because of another like really weird, to us it seemed like inconsequential, but it's a very big deal. Whether something to do with number plates from Serbs were not allowed to be used or something in Kosovo anymore. It's got to be an Albanian, or it's got to be like just a specifically Kosovan. I don't know, whatever. We will go over it in the episode. You know, there's only so much information I can retain. And yeah, so this policeman stepped down over it, a Serbian cop, and he was arrested recently. Allegedly, he was planning a militant attack, a terror attack. And Serbs have been like, absolutely not giving back now. And Albanian Kosovan authorities have been like, no. I do believe he's been handed back. I think he's on. Jesus, there's a lot of these. This is cool. There's a lot. He's been handed back, and there's he's under house arrest. So there's, you know, but I've been to Kosovo. I was mostly just on the Albanian side, and we tried to film with us. We did film with the Serbs, actually. We did both sides. We did mostly on the Albanian side in Kosovo, but then we did we interviewed a Serbian, I want to say monk, Serbian priest. I forget exactly what it is in Orthodox, but anyway, he was. No, I think he was a monk. Really cool guy, actually. He's a very cool guy. He said some things that were a bit inflammatory for Albanians, but he was a cool guy. They made wine there. It was really weird. But it's really weird. You have this there's this monastery, and there's armed guards all outside. UN provided K4 armed guards because they get attacked from the Albanians. And then obviously it's both sides. Both sides. I mean, I'm not interested in this he said, she said of Kosovo. Who Kosovo belongs to is not really. I mean, it's nothing to do with me. I really like Albanians. I get on along with a lot of them, and I really like Serbs. I've got Serbian friends as well, and it's just like both sides have something interesting to say. It's not quite as clean cut as other conflicts like that I've covered, in my opinion. But I think there's going to be a war there within the next decade. I just can't see. I think 2006 was the last time there was a real proper conflict there over that position on a bridge, I believe, in Mitrovica. And there are still militias there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. If anything kicks off in Kosovo and Serbia, I'm there in a flash. Great lad I worked with out there, Zili, when I went there when I was about 27. Great guy, really good. Like I said, good people on both sides. Very, very friendly, very nice people, very tough people, which I like. I like people like that. And I don't know. It's unfortunate that these things happen. It's really sad, actually, but it is how it is. How it is. Big fan from New Zealand. That's what I just read. That is brutal. Like, can you do a doc on the future surveillance states? It's not really. I mean, it kind of comes under our remit, but I really think it would have to be linked to. It wouldn't quite make sense for us to put the money in to do the doc, and the amount of time that would take a lot of time in research and editing and whatever, and fact checking and blah blah. We're more on the ground, Certainly, if someone drops $1 million on me tomorrow, we'll do it. But we would definitely, I'd get a team to do it. But I would definitely connect it to more like dissidents, militants, stuff like that, because a lot of, freedom fighters get spied on by all these states. What I would like to do would be to really link the complicity of the West in selling this stuff and so-called friendly nations that provide all of these awful spying equipments to these people that then help to kind of destroy freedom of expression and free speech in these countries. But I certainly wouldn't focus on like any specific angle other than everyone is a scumbag, because that's how it is. Like Britain, my country, is just despicable when it comes to that kind of stuff. We will sell any kind of spy tech anywhere to any country, no matter what they do, provided as they're seen as like the good guys, which is just a very hilarious concept. Alexandra Dorman. Oh, no question. Thanks very much for the money. Hey Jake, a small token of appreciation from Denmark. This thing keeps jumping. I've lost it again. Sorry, mate. I've lost it. It's just gone mad. What the fuck? Anyway, it jumped, mate. Sorry. Anyway, thanks very much. I don't think there was a question. Wearing your hate is gonna hate / Poppy Front merch. Thanks, mate. I love that t-shirt. It's one of my favorites. Shout out to Hate is gonna hate, man. Anton and Dasha, very, very good people. Anton and Dasha from Hutud's clan. Well, Dasha's Anton's wife. She's kind of representative in a way. Some of the best people I ever met from my work, like very, very like personal friends, in my opinion. No, in my opinion, like personal friends, you know what I'm saying? Like actually made friends with them. We can crowdfund you, please, more live streams. You know what? Actually, this has been lucrative. So I will do it, because I need a fucking laptop. I need I got to pay for flights for next doc. So yeah, if it works that way, why not? Maybe we'll do now I've done this and people actually like it. I'm thinking maybe we'll live stream. I'll get some of the boys around, like some of the other team members, and do stuff like that. Maybe get Sam to like make some music. Like Sam don't live far from me. I could we could set this up at his house, or he could do it. Come to my house and make some music and get ideas like that. We did a thing like that one time on the Patreon, where we had people just like send in random ideas for samples, and we just picked them out of a hat, and then Sam would make a beat in like a minute. Like he's so talented, it's unbelievable. Okay. Do you have any favorite sources for underground or underreported news, or how do you collate your sources? Someone's been asking me this recently. Someone asked me this, a student, a journalism student, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I think I've got to the point where I've been so laser focused on war and conflict and underground groups and militias and blah 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 that I've managed to kind of, I have this kind of like network of people and resources that it's just like breathing almost. It's just every part. I'm like, oh, there's something happening there. Okay, I know a guy there. I'll contact him. Oh, what's happening? Or text him or whatever. Like, oh, what's the situation? I'm like, oh, it's not that serious, or it's this, or it's that. Okay, I trust him. But I know someone else actually. Let me ask them. Okay, there's that. Oh, and then I see on the Telegram, oh, that's happened. All right, we'll tell him again. Well, you said there's nothing, but this has happened. Oh yeah, shit, actually did it. You know what I mean? So it becomes this kind of like thing. And I mean, that sounds like a lot of work, but it's very quick. It very, very quickly I can just do that and whatever. And to me, the research, it doesn't feel like research. It's just something that I'm interested in. So it kind of becomes a part of my everyday life. Now, where that's bad is I never switch off. I'm always working. And anyone that knows me will tell you that. And it's not good. I'm 32, I'm 33 in like 2 weeks, and I have high blood pressure. Like, I literally take medication for high blood pressure, and I'm healthy, I eat well, I train a lot. So I don't know, it's fucked. I guess it's stress. I guess it's covering war for like 8 years, I guess. Maybe I don't fucking know. Or maybe it's just genetic, to be honest with you. A lot of the men in my family have bad hearts. But anyway, yeah. So it's like it's one of them things where I'm constantly on. I'm constantly looking at it, and I think it just kind of all slots into place. I mean, I was thinking about making like a Popular Front app where all my way of collating everything can be for someone else and everyone else can do it, but you need money for that, and you probably no one would give a shit. Who cares about apps anymore? I guess you get the same thing from just looking at our Insta feed, to be honest. So, but yeah, I guess there's no real answer. It's just like a connection, a network of people, and also there are, to be honest, it's more. I don't really focus on like. I don't get why it's still so hot. I don't really focus on like, oh, this network, that network. I kind of focus on specific reporters, which I'll look to their work and stuff like that. I've kind of curated my Twitter feed in a way that it's all there for me, really. But I don't have Twitter. I have a rule of no social media apps on my phone, because I just think social media is an absolute cancer in many ways. It's good in other ways. Like Popular Front would not be as well known without the Instagram blowing up the way it did. Don't get me wrong, but I think generally it's a net negative for humanity. And I try to be off of it, or I try not to have it. And like if I have to fucking like a lad on our team, Caden Lindblom, he runs the Instagram, the Popular Front Insta, and sometimes I have to log into it. And I used to be in a lot more, and it stressed me out. And I log into it, I look at it, and I just like this is just fucking. It's not real life, Like the start of this feed, someone was like, "I hate this guy, but I like his work." Like, bro, you would never fucking say that to me. Like, you know what I mean? It's this idea of like people being able to like isolate themselves and be rude and mean. It's just so far removed from the reality of real life, and I just find that that's very dangerous. And also everybody's head somewhere else. Their body's there, but their head's somewhere else. It's fucked. But anyway, who cares about that? Jesus, this keeps skipping. I fucking hate YouTube. The way they do it is awful. Nothing is very user friendly. Apparently there's a good one. I wanted to do a thing where you have like fucking, like a thing will say on the screen, and like it will tell like there'll be like banners on the screen saying, I don't know, like go to Popular Front, blah blah blah. And then it was telling me I have to like log into like Streamlabs or some shit. I looked at Streamlabs, literally wanted to kill myself when I looked at it. I was like, this is the worst, most complicated thing I've ever seen. The fact that Streamlabs is so complicated to do something so basic, it's crazy. Someone needs to make a new program where literally drag and drop. I can drag and drop. I'm a total moron, but it's like I'm just simply not engaging with that. If someone can do it for me, that would be really cool. And then we can do like real proper fun streams and make it, stylize it, and like have like, well, I guess I'm pointing to my fucking screen like an idiot. Like have like Popular Front there, and like, have a link here, donation, Patreon, rare. Maybe have something in the corner streaming. I don't fucking know. But yeah, someone can help me with that, because I looked at it. I just can't do that myself. I mean, maybe I could, but someone said, will you cover Kashmir someday? Yeah, I've really wanted to, but it's a very hard place to operate. I want to go on the ground there. I think that's something you really have to be careful with. And I want to go on the ground there. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, I've been talking to someone about trying to do something like that, but it just doesn't really work. It kind of falls out a little bit. And there's no real, there are some militias there that are cool, and then others that want to kidnap you, and they're all fighting for the same cause, so it can get a little bit dicey. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to roll the dice on getting kidnapped in Kashmir. Something like Baluchistan and things like that. I don't want to roll the dice on that. I don't know. It's like, it's such a far place to go. It's going to cost me like so much money, which I'm never going to recoup. No one's really interested in Kashmir. No one will watch it. It will probably get age restricted. And I know that sounds bad, but it's like, man, I just without the cash flow, you can't take them risks, And then, apart from the fact I don't want to risk getting kidnapped, you know what I mean? Been kidnapped once. I'm not into it again. Mailing 900 individual orders is such an enormous task. Yeah, it was hell, especially when so many of them are international. Appreciate all the work you put into Popular Front. Really enjoyed the newsing. Thanks, mate. And I'm really sorry it took so fucking long, but there were two very strong postal strikes in Britain. Fuck Royal Mail. I do support the postal service 100%. Supported their strikes. I think it's excellent. Shout out to all the postmen and postwomen, but it did delay everything like fuck. So, and it was right over Christmas as well. So yeah, please do more cult-related coverage as well. See, cult-related stuff is more my work. Like, I'm fascinated by that shit. Obviously, there's no like war cults really. 09A though, like, I mean, 09A is not a cult; it's a group. But we are doing a lot. There's a lot more 09A stuff is going to come. Do you know what? If there's anything I research more than anything, it's Order of Nine Angles. I'm on it all the time. Like, I got some very interesting information recently. There's a lot of bullshit going around at the minute. But yeah. There's some stuff I'm writing a whole like long chapter about in Gargoyle to how about self-printing the zine on Lulu or similar? I don't know what Lulu is. I'll check that out though. Levi the Lefty said, I'd love to hear you talk about more anti-fascist stuff, perhaps sharp skinheads. Shout out to the Sharps. I really, really like that scene. It's very interesting. For anyone who doesn't know, Sharp is skinheads against racial prejudice. Very cool. A lot of the Hood Hoods clan people are Sharps, lads. Perhaps Sharp, skinhead, something like that from the US. Love your content. Yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, I'm not an activist, and I am not an anarchist. Despite everybody, either anarchists get really mad at me when they find out I'm not, or some right winger says that I am. I have like, I find the whole idea very interesting. When I was younger, I was definitely a lot more interested. But so the real reason that Popular Front often covers anarchist issue is, well, not often, but now and then, it's because they're often the groups that do the work. They go and do the praxis. When shit kicks off, they're the ones that go, okay, we're going to go and throw the Molotov. We're going to go and plant the bomb, because they're about action. And they often get overlooked because mainstream will go like, oh no, don't cover that there, they don't fit into the perfect correct opinion sphere. So we go, no, fuck it, we'll talk to them. And certainly I will tell you now one thing, anarchists like in Eastern Europe are a lot nicer than anarchists in Western Europe. I'll tell you that. They're like very strong, very tough, good people with old school ideals. And the anti-fascist stuff, like, I personally believe in it very strongly. I'm deeply anti-fascist, but that's my personal beliefs. I'm not making my platform a political thing. I'm not interested in left and right. I don't like fascism, but that fascism comes out in many forms. Like, I'm anti-authoritarian, but that doesn't mean I'm an anarchist. That just means I don't want a boot on my head, and when I see it on someone else's, I think something should be done to get rid of it. And I just really, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Yeah, I read Bakunin, I read Macknott. I think Nestor Macknott is a very interesting, cool person, but I'm not like, screaming like, oh yeah, anarchy, like, yeah, like, I just don't think it's realistic. And certainly it's not I don't like this idea that, oh yeah, well, everyone should live like this. That's so elitist. If you want to live like that, fine, and do what you can and whatever. But the idea that, oh, we need a revolution to then make everybody live like this is madness. You're not in the real world. It's just madness. It's just so detached from working class reality to have that idea, and I dislike that. But that said, I also do agree with a lot of the ideas. Well, I want to live how I want to do, but I don't want to force that on anyone else, And I certainly will not have anyone force anything on me. So that's why we end up kind of covering that stuff. And I have like obviously a very interesting. It's very interesting to me to see anti-fascists in a space where that's hard to be. For example, towards Klein in Ukraine, I wouldn't go to Portland and make a doc about anti-fascists. Why? They're everywhere. They're 10 a penny, and probably, I mean, I'm sure they would consider me a right-wing lunatic because I like to go to the gym or something. I've heard that before. What was it? Someone said that a friend of mine, he's like I don't know, like anarcho-communist or whatever the fuck. And someone was saying to him that he had a fascist body ideal because he goes to the gym and does boxing. Madness, it's very funny when people allow an ideology to cover for lack of discipline and being healthy. If you're an undisciplined slob, you are not helpful to anyone. You're not going to be allowed to be in the commune and be the guy that draws like furry hentai. It's not going to happen, bro. The comrades are not going to allow it. So I really don't want to get too close to that stuff. I'm cool with people in them scenes. I don't mind who you are, but I'm cool with some people that are right wing as well, as long as they're not like a fucking fascist or a racist. Personally, I believe those kind of people, I have no problem when those people are dealt with in a quite aggressive manner. But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's good or bad or right. It's probably not right, but whatever. But if they're not that, fuck it, man. You can't force everybody to believe what you believe. Grow up. Like, the real world doesn't fucking work like that. I have the idea of like the most like perfect left radical. It's often boring. Like, they're boring people because they can't fit in with anything else, and they're constantly looking for the left radical angle. Like, fucking bore off. Like, it's so boring to be like that. You're gonna go and work in the warehouse and then say, I can't work with these people because Barry reads the Daily Mail. Like, life's about making these kind of like compromises, and when you live in a real world, not in the bubble world, you have to make them. So long as you stick to your own ideals, sure, but you gotta have fun and you gotta make compromises. So that's another thing. Very hardcore radicals don't have enough fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like boring, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, this thing is a fucking nightmare. All right, this thing has jumped again. So Jesus, there's a lot now. I lost this. I can't even say. I don't even know where I'm at now. Apologies. Keep being you. Any news on Bando? I hope that goes well. Yeah, I mean, I'm still developing it, but I've got a lot of other projects with Popular Front and various freelance stuff. I'm going to do another podcast series for iHeart with like Robert Evans and them lot. That Cool Zone Media. I forgot the name then. That is taking a lot of research. I'm doing. I don't actually know. I won't say what it's about because someone might steal the idea. So yeah, that happened to me. That happened to me already. We'll go into that one. What's the best way to support? Honestly, the patreon.com/Popular Front. Best way. I've been going for an hour now. I'm probably going to wrap this up. I'm going to the oh, my dog is Murph. Fucking moved out, I think. Thoughts on growing interest in independent journalism, such as Popular Front, Channel 5, Breaking Points, etc. Should more journalists try creating their own content versus pitching it to news outlets? It's tricky because independent journalists can often fall into like conspiracy theory nutcases. Like that shithead Tim Pool, he's an independent reporter, a lot richer than me. But people like that. And he started off, I thought I liked some of the stuff he did before. Sometimes he say things I was a bit like, I don't know. But then he just went full in at the deep end, like nonsense. So I think there's this real pull to become politically skewered when you're independent, which is annoying. Like even Breaking Points, I've seen them come out with some fucking bullshit. But there is... It's hard because I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm the only one that can do it. Of course, fucking not. But the point is, like, it's hard to fund it if you're independent. To make your own platform, we're just fucking lucky. Popular Front took off on the Patreon and also I used the money that when I left Vice to get me a bit of money, not a lot of money, but they gave me a bit of money because of the time served, I guess. And I started it with that. And also I sold an investigation to BBC News, and actually that funded the start of Popular Front more than anything. That wasn't a lot of money at all, but it was enough. But anyway, allow me to buy a microphone and a fucking new laptop and whatever. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I think it's good that people start their own thing, but they have to have a very clear way of doing it. And I would advise people try and get experience elsewhere, because I mean, I was lucky to get an advice. I wouldn't have been able to start Popular Front if I wasn't advised first. No way. I learned so much there. And, forever indebted to Kevin Sutcliffe, who brought me on there, and all the people that helped me there, Phil, everybody, Reggie. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, you can't really just jump into something completely green and expect to build something that works, because every eye is going to be on you as you make your mistakes. And we've made a few mistakes here and there at Popular Front, nothing crazy. But I mean, I can't even think what, but like maybe things where I thought, the guy's a bit of a dickhead, probably shouldn't have worked with him. You know what I mean? But it's whatever. But I mean, not for a long time, but still, it's one of them ones where I just don't. I don't know. I don't really. I don't. Again, I can't answer it because like you can't just start from nothing, but you also can. But I would advise, if you can get experience elsewhere, do that, learn what you can, do that time, and then do it if you're going to do it. But have a very specific idea. Don't just try and do a new Popular Front, because a lot of people are doing that. And remember that having an Instagram page does not mean you are a journalist. You have to do more than just post on Instagram, believe it or not. I know people that have gone to Ukraine, reporters, their first time, they've gone straight to war, having never gone to war before. And all they do is post on Instagram, and they've got, I don't know, maybe they've got 20,000 followers now. So they think they're accomplished. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, maybe that is the new world. Maybe that's how it works now. Can't remember if you said earlier, will other journalists appear on Popular Front? Yeah, they definitely will. I just need a team of people that, I don't know. I want people that fit Popular Front. Like I need like first I want a female. I need a female reporter. Like it's very, Popular, very male heavy. Well, actually, not in terms of our listenership and our viewership. It's very mixed actually, which actually surprised me just because of the way we do things. But a lot of women involved, like in terms of that, and we have we work women on our team and stuff. But my point is, I would like to have a female reporter in front of the screen as well, because I think there's something, and I'm not on some woke fucking remit bullshit. I do not care about that. That means nothing to me. It's irrelevant. I live in the real world. I don't live on Twitter, so that doesn't matter to me. It matters because there's a thing that men and women, we're different. We are different, and that's how it is. And I think that there are women reporters that get much better things from war that men can't get. And I'll be honest, at risk of sounding woke, I don't think it goes the other way. I think anything a woman can get from war, anything the man can do in the war zone, the woman can do it, and then more. And I'm not just saying that. Like I've worked with like female war reporters, and there's just something, I think maybe, I don't know what it is. I won't even say what it is. Could be skewed or taken the wrong way probably, but like I just think like female war reporters are very, very good, and I would like to have one on our team. But it has to be the right kind of person. It needs to be someone like Hind Hassan, someone like that. Yeah, some great reporters out there doing really good work, and I would love to get like that element on side as well, to be like, hey, this ain't just for the boys at all. I mean, I think people know that, but it would be a much more obvious representation of that, to be like, hey, this is, it's the brothers, it's the sisters, it's everybody. And I think that'd be a nice way of doing things. Yeah. Do you have any plans to cover the PDF in Myanmar? I kind of answered this earlier, but like, we've done a lot of podcast episodes on it, but I want to go on the ground and do a documentary about it. But it's just so fucking dangerous. It's so dangerous. There's so much traveling. There's just an unbelievable amount of waiting around and risk involved in even getting across the border. So I don't know how to do it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to do it. And I do have contacts. I mean, I don't want to talk about that now, but I don't know, mate. It's risky. There's areas that you would have to go through that if caught by the junta, you're fucking dead. They'll cut your arms and legs off, yeah. What's going on there? Elusive. If I want to get into a podcast, should I start from the beginning or just jump in at the most recent? Oh, in Popular Front podcast, I mean any order really. There's no real order. I mean, I would say if you want to get more up to date, more recent, the bonus episodes we have are a little bit different on the Patreon. There, like the paywall stuff, that's kind of evergreen. Really, we do historical stuff on there as well. But in terms of the normal podcast, oh fuck, someone said Jim Fuck's Discord channel or Popular Front Balaclavas in 2023. Now everyone has been asking for Popular Front Balaclavas. Never, it's never happening. Stop fucking asking. It's never happening. Why? Because some lunatic will put on a Popular Front Balaclava and either rob a bank or do a fucking school shooting or something absolutely mental, and that's me ruined forever. Even though it's nothing to do with me, even though it's not my fault, some fucking liberal hysterical reporter will blame it on us and like drag shit we've said out of context and say, look, they pushed a school shooter or something mad like that. Not happening. I just think that with a t-shirt, you could say, well, that could happen with a t-shirt. It's just a t-shirt's a t-shirt. Balaclava is used to cover your face, and I'm just not taking that risk. Someone will do some stupid fucking shit, or someone I don't like, someone doesn't like me will do it just to fuck me off, like that scumbag at the start of this live stream. So I'm not doing that. There is one. We made some just for the lads one time. I don't know where they are, but no, we're not doing that. Jim Fox. Anyone that doesn't know, oh, Louis, shout out Louis Hollis. That's the cameraman that filmed our latest dog. He's a top lad. He's a young lad, man. He's 27. He's fucking smashing it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, in terms of Jim Fox, Jim Fox was like, so on the Popular Front Discord, it's like a very lively community. It's really cool as well. It's a very healthy online community. I think it's great there. I love it there. I'm in there less and less now because I'm so fucking busy. But there was talk of like, oh, we should have like a channel about like gym and fitness to help everyone there. If anybody wants any help, there's a lot of people that go to the gym there, and there's people that do Thai boxing, whatever. So we're gonna have like a channel. I don't know where the name Jim Fox came from, but that's what someone called it. But it never really happened. I think because we already have a lot of channels there, and I don't know. It's even worse because Popular Front sounds like a militant group. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, a Popular Front actually, at its bare bones, just means a group of people that don't all agree on the exact same thing, but they agree on one thing enough to join together and form a popular front to combat whatever is there. Doesn't even necessarily have to be physical combat, like often not. And the idea was kind of a joke, was like the Popular Front for the Liberation of Conflict Journalism. The idea that there's loads of people that maybe don't even like me or whatever, or don't like what I do, but they agree that there's a problem with the elitist manner in which conflict journalism is presented. And so that was the kind of joke. It's the Popular Front for Liberation of Conflict Journalism, liberating it from the elite kind of snobs that run it. And so Popular Front stuck. Popular Front flags, I remember seeing one in a PF raffle. Yeah, there's one here actually. Look. And there's Jay stuck up there. Fuck, this camera's shit. I don't know if I do flags. I mean, I feel like it's, first of all, like someone that don't like me will just burn one on camera, and it's like, I mean, whatever. Like, thanks, got your money safe, like whatever. But I just honestly, like, I'm online less and less these days, and I just can't be fucking arsed with that shit, man. Like, it's just so cringeworthy. Like, it's just so embarrassing. It's like, you're never gonna say shit. You're never gonna do shit in real life. What have you created today? Nothing. Oh, I don't like Jake. He's a fucking gobshite. I know I'm a gobshite. I live with myself. I am a bit of a dickhead. Like, and that is fine. Stop wanting everyone to be perfect and have all the edges cornered off. And like, okay, I'm a bit of a dickhead. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't get why that's such like a, what do you want me to be, some fucking perfect angel? I cover war and conflict, man. Like, hey, what do you think, man? Like, fucking grow up, pull yourself out of the internet. That's the problem. That is a lot of the problem. And I just know that someone will live script. I know who that is. That's an old friend of mine. And I know that, like, someone will buy a flag and they'll do something stupid with it and burn him, like, fuck him. And it's like, I mean, it wouldn't really, I'd be like, whatever, fine. But I just can't be asked. Even the idea of that happening is just so stupid and boring. That, like, and the thing is, like, you could ignore it if it was just like happened. You're all right, fine, who cares? the thing what will happen is everyone will fucking text me, have you seen this? Have you seen it? Of course I've fucking seen it. You know what I mean? Like, people love to send you negative things. Like, it's so weird, man. But I mean, I'm a very negative, bitter, fucking horrible, like, kind of hater in a way. But I feel like the things that I'm really sick of, it's okay. Like, I don't hate good shit, you know. Well, I'm gonna lock this off in a minute because I'm tired. You are a beautiful, sensitive soul. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, it's not even that. I mean, I've got pretty thick skin, you know what I mean? I mean, all day, every day, like, if I check Twitter, there's at least one person be like, you're a cunt, you're a fake, you're a fraud, I hate you. And I just block, whatever. My thing is, like, that's not thin skin. It's like, I'm on this app for a little bit of time. I need to find something out. I need to look at the news or find something funny or post some bullshit. And it's like, if you're making that experience annoying 1%, you're gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's not real life. It doesn't matter. So, you know, like, in real life, someone's like, you're a dickhead. You'd be like, fuck off. You know what I mean? So it's a lot easier to do it on the block there. Do you play any games in your free time? Yeah, fuck, I don't have a lot of free time. My free time, I go to the gym. I like the gym. I think it's really good for your brain and it's good to be healthy. I'm trying not to eat like a pig, but I have been. And I do Thai boxing when I can, most weekends if I'm around, and hang out with family, and watch documentaries, watch telly. And yeah, sometimes I do play games. I mean, I would much prefer to do it more often. I think video games are like one of the best mediums if you're talking about art or entertainment or whatever. I think it's amazing. But I don't get that much time. I really like point and click adventure games. They're my favorite games in the world. Like Monkey Island, Broken Sword 1 and 2 are the best games I've ever played. Grim Fandango, I mean, it's not point and click, but, you know, it's a traditional adventure game. That is one of the best. Grim Fandango, probably the best game ever made, in my opinion. Yeah, man, and like some really like old shit as well, like The Dig. I play that. I love all that stuff. I'll just play it again and again. And World of Warcraft. Obviously, that's not an adventure game. World of Warcraft, I fucking love that game. I think it's amazing. Classic, retail, new shit. Hate it, don't like it. Classic's amazing. When that came out, I started playing again. I love that. Final Fantasy 7, them kind of games. I love that kind of stuff. But I'll play Call of Duty as well. Like, my mates got me into it. I never played it until about 3 or 4 years ago. I never played it when we were young or anything. I was like, fuck all that. But then I got kind of like into it whilst playing with my mates through COVID. And now they don't play anymore and I'll still play. I'm like, fuck it. Like, because you can blast it for like 20 minutes and just fuck off. You know what I mean? It's good like that. Whereas some games, when they're like, I play a lot of story-driven games, you're kind of like, where the fuck am I? And a game like a video game, I don't play a lot of new video games because if there's a talent tree that literally is more than 1 minute to understand, I'm deleting the game immediately. I hate that fucking shit. I tried to play Final Fantasy 8 again recently, and the fucking card game, I don't know how I played that as a kid. I smashed that game. Like, I loved it, but the card game, it's like, I looked at it, I was like, I'm never playing this game. Like, I just deleted it straight off the Switch. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Shout out to fucking Oracle Coffee Shop. They sponsor us and they bought me a Switch, which was very, very cool. They sent me a Switch one time. Wizard K, would you cover Palestinian/Israeli anarchists? Probably not. I think we've done enough on anarchists. We've done a lot of anarchist stuff. You can't just go, there's an anarchist here, and therefore then we cover them. They would have to be doing something very specific. Maybe we would cover anarchists in Palestine, because that is a very, very unique ideology to have there. They've had the communists, you know, with the PFLP and stuff like that, and the FLP and other groups. But to have an anarchist group there, the anarchist group that I spoke to there, I'm a bit unsure about them because they sent me some footage, which was literally, I think, my footage, like Kurdish guerrilla forces, like Kurdish youth, you know, from Southeast Turkey. And they were like, oh, they kind of like made it like, like it was them. And I was like, I kind of asked them, I said, oh, is this you? And they said, yeah. And I was like, no, it's not. You know, and I don't like that. Don't try and fraud some shit. I hate that. Yeah. But yeah, there is quite a new Palestinian militant anarchist group, but I don't think they do a lot. And also the problem is with them, like, what can they do? There's already so much powerful militancy there. You know, they're never gonna. I don't see that they're gonna get like. I mean, what can they do? You know, if they get too kind of big, like, I don't know, like PA or like Hamas will just crush them, as they do with everything else, or Israel. I mean, the Israelis get hold of them. Jesus, they're getting fucking crushed. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of it's kind of a bad situation. Red Dead Redemption. Yes, I did play that. I fucking loved it. See, man, I need to make more time to play video games. I think they're great. Alliance or Horde? Alliance. Everyone's like, why? Horde's way better. Like Horde, yeah. Everywhere you go, every starting place I've seen, it's lava and rocks and no grass. I don't want to see that. Like, why you want to live in stinking lava land like that, man? Alliance all day. Stardew Valley, man. I played that game for about 8 hours one day and I had to delete it because I was like, I'm never going to get any work done if I keep playing this game. Great game, man. What do you think about the political situation in Greece? Honestly, I've not been keeping track of it too much, other than the Romani lad and the situation around that. Been getting quite into. Someone said, "Listen, popular phone, but don't follow Jake on Twitter." Ah, fuck you. Probably a good advice, actually. You printed out this card with your face on it. Get out of here. Weird about what card did I print out? I don't know what you mean by that, bro. Yeah, so Hell Let Loose. I played Hell Let Loose for a bit and I loved it for a bit, but then I realized you kind of have to like play it for an hour before anything happens. And I was just like, this is doing my fucking head in. Like, but I do like the realism. I wish COD had like a realism setting. Apparently there is, but I couldn't find it. Favorite Big Les episode. I don't really have a favorite episode, but Mike Nolan is just Mike fucking Nolan. He's the best. I love that guy. He's very, very funny. How much liter of water fits in that cup? I don't know, man. What's that, like a liter? Maybe? Max. It doesn't fucking say. I don't know. But I did that lying because then that's for the like water for the pre-workout. Pokemon Go. No, I didn't play that. My friend plays that. I don't know. It's like the problem with video games is video games are great if you can do them. Like, you play a video game and you got some time, whatever. But I feel like people they either play them so much that they don't do their work, so they don't get like, hang on, what the fuck? 1,000 people message me. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Got a lot of work shit. I've got an episode to edit, but my laptop's won't charge, so I'm fucked. Nosy, yeah, top tier. Yeah, video games is cool because like you know they're fucking incredible medium. They're like a great artistic kind of genre, I guess you could say, and they're just fucking the best thing. I think they're just so incredible. But people play them so much that they don't get their work done, and it's like, well, if you don't get your work done, and you don't kind of make be kind of, I don't know, put yourself up somewhere where you have you have to live first. You end up not being able to play the games anyway, or you could be like a neat and sit indoors all day and just play games, and obviously then you're a fucking loser. Or you get people that they make it their whole identity, which is fine, but I find it hard to really vibe with people like that, like covered in like Pokemon tattoos and Mario t-shirt and fucking hell. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, it's fine. I'm not against them, but I don't know. That to me, it's like I feel like you've made something cool annoying, But I'm an annoying person, you know what I mean? So it's not like, I mean, it's neither here nor there. But no, that's why I don't play that. All right. Let me just answer one or two more questions because I'm sorry I've missed some of the super chats. The thing just, I don't know. The UI on this is a fucking joke. It just jumps. And I can't really work out the user interface. I actually have no idea. I have no idea. What sender highlighted? Nah, fuck. Nah, sorry. So yeah. But yeah, man, I'm gonna do this again because this went down really fucking well. Like, maybe I'll do it on my own channel, like, because I don't want to just be doing war. But I mean, no one cares what I've got to say over the war, though, to be fair. Right, okay, so let me answer. I think I answered like one question off the community tab. Let me see, like, a good question. Like, questions like this I don't get. I think people have misunderstood Popular Front. Will you make an interview with Polish anti-fascists? Like, why? Until they're doing something interesting. I mean, I respect them. I know a lot of them, and they're fucking good people. I speak to them, but I'm not going to make a doc about them just because they're in Poland and they're anti-fascists. It's like, until there's something real serious, it has to be a story. Like, I think people misconstrue what we're about. We're not activists. we are cool with people that the mainstream probably wouldn't cover, but that doesn't mean we're activists. You know, you wouldn't call like, I don't know, like BBC neoliberal activism, you know, just because that's what they cover. And if we cover something that you don't normally see, doesn't mean that we're activists. It's literally shedding a light on things that other journalists are not. And I think that's a good thing. It does, but you know, like we're not PR for people. We're not gonna, oh, you're an anti-fascist there. You know, if I'm in your country, I'd want to hang out with you and you know, whatever, that's cool. But as a film, why? You know, it doesn't make sense. Can you, like, again, someone said here, can you do some London stuff? So much is going on under the surface. I mean, actually, that is a good point. Like, I did want to do like a special report on the knife crime because it's so unbelievably fucked. But it's like, it's a lot harder. Like Brits, we're a lot less likely to be open and record and stuff like that. I mean, I'm pretty open in ways, but I'm like, we have this mode. Like I do a lot. It's like if you give a little, people won't ask you for a lot in terms of like what you're about and whatever. Like, and I think a lot of people are very much like that, especially when it concerns like very controversial stuff like gang scenes and stuff like that. And it would just take so long to make. I would like to do it, but I don't know, man. It's one of them ones, and it's like also you just risk getting like your shit robbed. Like you know, it's a very. I mean, you can't just walk into like Wood Green and be like, "Oh, hi lads, can we film?" They'd be like, "Phone, wallet, keys, fuck off, camera, thanks." So not everywhere, but like in the in the kind of areas that these gangs have control of. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let me have a look at another question. Will you be covering the printed gun culture in Europe and the effects of losing such a prominent leader in said culture? Well, we have a doc called Plastic Defense, which has nearly 3 million views. So that I'd say that is the main doc on the first real doc on printed gun culture in Europe. But I think you mean like going forward. Maybe, but I mean, I don't want to just rehash Plastic Defense. I don't want to do, here's another guy that has printed a 3D gun in Europe. It would have to be a very specifically different story. Plastic Defense worked because it was the first of its kind. You can't, I mean, other people have copied it and it's just been like, everyone's gone, this is just Plastic Defense, you know? So it would have to be different, but I do want to cover plastic. I do want to cover 3D printed firearms and weaponry. I really think it's one of the most fascinating topics to bring up conversations that span so many different avenues of investigation. People are anti-gun, they're pro-gun, but then the people that are anti-gun are then pro-guns to Ukraine, so then they're kind of pro-gun, but then you know, like even stuff like that, like, and then you get the people that 100% pro-gun, and they say they're about freedom of speech, but then they're like right-wingers telling people they can't do this, they're not allowed to fuck who they want and whatever, you know. So there's every single like different contradiction you can think of surrounds the 3D printed gun topic, and it's very fucking underground and very lively and fascinating and dark and whatever, and it's just, you know, it's the perfect story for us. I honestly, like, there's a lot of, I really am sad that Jay Stark is dead, and a lot of it is because, you know, we spoke over the space of about 4 years, and anyone that knew him would know that he was a very different person off camera, and I think I knew there's things he'd said to us, like me and Luke when we were filming there, like the people that I know that know him were even surprised that he'd said that. So I think he just felt a way to open up to us. And for better or worse, I don't look at people based on they're doing a bad thing or this, that, and the other. Like, as long as it's not like, you know, like egregious or whatever, like what he was doing is up for debate. You know, I don't agree with it fully. I still don't, but I understand it. And I liked him. I liked who he was as a person. Like, I could look past some of that stuff and was like, yeah, this is like a decent guy. And, you know, a lot of journalists have been like, I can't believe you said that. I don't care. That's, you know, Popular Front. We're not cold-hearted. We don't use people as props. We understand who they are. And because of that, I think it's really sad. But also, he gave me an opportunity, and I don't think he realized, like, Popular Front would not be where it is today without J Star, without a doubt. No way, not a chance. I remember my granddad said to me, God rest his soul, my granddad died, best person ever that I ever fucking knew. And he died about 2 years ago now. And before he died, he said to me, you know, he was really proud of what I'd done with Popular Front. He's very interested and he's very involved. And he said to me, "Wow," he said, "you're doing something really good here." He said, "It's really different. Like you're actually like, this is worth something. You know, this is really good." He said, "What you need is one big story that no one else can get." I was like, "Yeah, you're right." You know, and I was kind of talking on and off to Jay Stark about maybe we can do a doc. When my granddad said that, I was like, "It's that. It's got to be that. It's got to be that." So I was like, "Hey man, let's do this. Let's do this." And kind of Jay Stark gave us that opportunity in a way, you know, and he didn't give it to us, but he did because he trusted us enough to do it. But also it was just happened to be the perfect, I don't know, crossing of time or whatever. And he did this and that happened and we did it and it fucking blew up. And, you know, like people liked Popular Front. It was kind of popping, but after Plastic Defense, I mean, we went from like 20,000 subscribers to like, I think 80,000 in like a month. and Plastic Defense is now at like 2.8 million, you know. And when I started Popular Front, there were certain people, even people that I'm kind of friendly with actually in the journo scene, were kind of sniggering, kind of laughing, like, "Oh yeah, Popular Front, you're starting your own thing." And I was like, "All right, you'll see, motherfucker. Like, we will do it." And after Plastic Defense, they couldn't laugh anymore, you know. So for me, I think Jay Stark, he represents to me a big opportunity, and it just reminds me of like we have come quite far like with Popular Front, and he was a big part of that, you know. So, you know, rest in peace to him. I know a lot of people really don't get or think it's really terrible that I should say such a thing. And you know, to those people, they can go fuck themselves, you know, like rest in peace to that guy, bro. Like, and you can't really argue with live free or fucking die, man. Like, you know, like for anyone that's been incarcerated or had their freedoms taken away, like there are worse things than death, you know, definitely. And I think just because, okay, not everybody believes in everything J Star believes, there's a lot of people that can find a like-minded kind of gist to what he's saying. You know, I know leftists that like him. I know right wingers that like him. I know anarchists that like him. I know communists that like him. You know, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say that if that doc didn't go out there, I would certainly say that like I don't know. I just don't think we'd be where we are. You know, so yeah, to me, it's I don't know. It represents something. Oh damn, Jake worked at Vice. No wonder people talk about Vice use. I don't know what the fuck that means, bro. I don't know if you're probably trying to be clever. Good for you, mate. Good for you, mate. Well done. You could do a call out for donations for equipment, cameras, laptops, etc. I have an unused Panasonic G4 if you want it. I really appreciate that, but I feel very weird to ask people for their like equipment, and it's also not always. It's not always like you. I kind of feel like you're just trying to get stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's better to go. Oh, Vice used to have this vibe in the past. Sorry, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Apologies. So I see what you're saying, bro. I always assume the worst. I always assume someone's coming for the attack. Yeah, online head. Yeah, I feel like if you just say, "Oh, can you give me this? Can you give me that?" Like, I feel a little bit like you're just gathering things because you can. It's like it's better to, in my opinion, to get the money and get what you need rather than try and get more than you need, which you might end up with just getting equipment, or you might get things you don't need. And then what you're gonna do then? Sell them, sell something that someone gave you, and it's like, nah, it's better to just say, actually, no, mate, like I want the money so I can buy the stuff we actually really will need, what we will use. You know, like if I had the money, I would get like 2 FS7s. We filmed Tarzan 22 on an FS7. We filmed Ghost of Karabakh on an FS5. I forget what camera Luke used for Plastic Defense and Frontline Hooligan. Luke uses a different camera. Like Luke's great lad. He uses like Johnny and Louis. They're more into like the FS7s, FS5. The kind of camera Luke uses is much better for like riots and stuff. In my opinion, because there's a lot more lightweight and stuff like that. I'd probably get like an A7S. I think there's a Mark III now. Probably get an A7S Mark III and an FS7 if I had the money. So we have like the main dot cam and then like something smaller for like riots and shit like that. Yeah. But you know, it's better, like I said, to get the money and then be like, hey, this is what we can get, instead of just like hoping that we get stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Someone said here, I know it's been a long time. The doc is out now. Most people who are going to watch it already did, but I was wondering if you're okay with me translating it for PTBR. PTBR. The fuck is PTBR, mate? I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, if people want to translate our stuff, like, as long as you give us credit, but don't. What I don't like is I've seen this happen a few times. People will translate something, right? And then they'll upload it to their YouTube channel. And it's like, that's ours, mate. Like, we're a small independent team. You know, why have you done that? You know, like, we need everything we can get. Yeah, I saw some fucking channel that they uploaded our doc and they cut our logo off, and I was like, copyright request, bam, let's go. And they were like an anarchist channel, like, oh, you filed a copyright request. I was like, too fucking right I did, mate. Get your fucking self out of here. Yeah. What's PTBR, sorry? Oh, Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Oh, mate, I would love that. I have a real soft spot for Brazil. One of the best people I ever knew in my fucking life was Brazilian, and I have since learned a lot about Brazil. And I have never met a horrible Brazilian. Like, they're just fucking lovely, full of life, full of energy. I really want to go there. I want to go there for holiday, but I do want to do a documentary there. Tiago Dizan, a very, very great filmmaker that we work with, he edited Sinaloa Foot Soldier. He lives in Brazil. He lives in Brazil, and I said to him, look, let's do a story, but he said it's not. He was kind of at a point. He was like, it's not like, I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky to do. And then I spoke to another reporter about, I want to do like a gang kind of there's like a very interesting gang culture in Brazil, which I think could work with Popular Front because they have military grade weapons now. And he kind of came up with this thing of like, wait there, if you think you're gonna do it like this, let me tell you what needs to be done. And it was a little bit like, bro, like, look at my work. I'm clearly interested in the real people behind this. Don't come at me like that. It's a very like fucking hell, someone just donated $50, man. All right, thanks, but please only if you can fucking afford that. That's very cool. Yeah, so, and he kind of came up with this attitude of like, listen here, young man, this is how you're going to do it. And it's like, if we work together, it's collaboration. You're not my mentor. I don't need one. You know, I don't like that attitude. There's a lot of reporters that kind of be like, you know, come here, you listen to this. You know, I've had people be like, oh yeah, Popular Front, yeah. Like, you guys are a bit mad. And it's like, nah, like, we're eating your lunch. You know, like, I hate that attitude of like, oh, you know, like, aren't you good? Like, nah, mate. Like, I'm a fucking grown adult and I'm doing proper work. Like, I just hate that fucking attitude in journalism of like, it's like the mainstream has to say that what we do is proper and everything else is bullshit. I've been experiencing that most of my career because it was the same at Vice News. I remember when it first started popping off at Vice News, it was brilliant. And I went somewhere and this reporter, like, I think it was BBC or something, he's like, Vice News? And I just went, yeah, fucking Vice News. And he was a bit like, you know what I mean? It's like, don't think you can come, be an absolute cunt to someone you've never met in your life and think that it's just going to be okay. You know, like, this isn't Twitter. So, not that it's like, I mean, not that you have to be aggressive, but it's like, yeah, I mean, you know, there's consequences for being a cunt. You know what I mean? I know it. I fucking know it. I spent my teenage years getting like battered for my like big mouth. You know, it's like, you know, it's what happens. So, anyway, so someone said here, you reckon there will be a Popular Front event or music event, e.g. PF against fascism tracks, like a fundraising event? Yes and no. Now, I don't know, because an event like that would cost a lot of money to put on. But if you're doing it like Popular Front against fascism or something, firstly, you get very politically charged, which I think we've gone as close to the line as becoming political as we will get. I won't go any, because I'm not political. I am political, but it's not everything to me. And I don't want it all in my work. And I don't want Popular Front to get associated politically. I mean, people already see it as like leftist, which I don't know. I really don't think that it is like that. I certainly know a lot of leftists that really dislike me and don't like what we do, and certainly all the you know, the kind of hardcore communists fucking despise us. They think we're the CIA. So, you know, it's one of them ones where it's like, I don't want to really. I like being a little bit ambiguous with it because that's what real life is like, and that's what war is like. Fucking hell, I would love to see how some of these like militant leftists would operate if they went and actually lived in the Middle East. I mean, God, their head would pop. Their head would pop. They get triggered so much the brain would explode. Yeah. So. I don't want to get too close to it. I mean, we did, we made some good links with real, what I call real anti-fascists in Europe this year or last year with the touring of Frontline Hooligan. We raised a lot of money for the lads there, and I made some like real like friendships, with some pretty hardcore kind of anti-fascist hooligan types. But that's not to say it was for Popular Front. It was just people that really helped us out and were good to us and we like them, and that's it. We're cool with them now, and it doesn't then mean that, I wouldn't then be scared of making a documentary because it might offend them. Who gives a fuck, and that's not the kind of people they are. I mean, there's a big, do you know what the best thing for touring Frontline Hooligan made me realize again that there's a very big difference between online anti-fascism and real anti-fascism in Europe. And I thought it was dead, the real stuff, and it's not dead at all. It just is different, well, people do shit. They really do shit. I mean, one of the most hardcore anti-fascist hooligan firms in Germany was actually the group we screened Frontline Hooligan with. Then they don't have a Twitter. They don't even have a fucking name. Actually, they don't have a proper name for their group. So it was a real nice to see for me that like, okay, that stuff really does exist still. And under their watch, if you want to be a little fucking racist, you're gonna get your shit pushed in. And I was like, okay, it's still there. It still exists, Someone said about Brazil, what do we think about covering the forest defenders in the Amazon? I was actually really wanting to do that. Me and Robert Evans wanted to do it for a podcast thing, but I wanted to do it for a Popular Front doc. But then that reporter got killed, didn't he? And his guide in the Amazon, literally just covering that, which was ostensibly a safe-ish story. So I don't know. I mean, I sound like a little coward or something. The amount of times I'm like, it's dangerous, but no, I'm just, I don't know. I kind of, as a, people in my family that I have to look after, man, and it's too selfish to just risk death like that quickly. Red Marshall, that's cool. I like this. So someone said, I'm a communist. I appreciate the journalism done by Popular Front. I want my worldview to be informed, not reinforced. Exactly. Again, I'm not a communist. I don't like communism, but I don't hate it. I understand that. I mean, everyone thinks every communist likes Stalin. I'm sure you don't like Stalin. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't fucking be here if you did. I respect. I've got friends that are communists, and I like that we can have stupid arguments. I'm like, you fucking clown! Like, you want to live like that? You want to lick the boot, and then we're still friends. Like you can't do stuff like that online because everybody takes everything the wrong way, and everybody has to have their own side, and blah blah. But in real life, real people can't have these really big arguments. In fact, one of those really good friends that I met in Hamburg, I consider this guy my friend now. Pretty hardcore kind of anti-fascist hooligan, big communist. And I was ribbing him, like taking a piss out of him, and he was cool with that. And he was like, yeah, you fucking da, da, da. And I was like, it's great. And I like that. I like for people to have their ideas and be able to bounce off each other and not get fucking pressed about it. Have you been to Palestine? Yeah, I did 2018. I'd love to go back. I really, really liked it. Well, I didn't like it because shit was kicking off there, but I liked Palestinian people. Very nice, very warm people. Had a good time there. Met a lot of really good people on the Israeli side as well. Not into the kind of never do this, never do that, like like it's whatever. But I'm certainly definitely not not pro. Would you consider covering? Yeah, and Mapuche and Chile, that I would love to cover, but I was looking into it, and everyone was just telling me like it's very difficult. They won't give you access. I was like, we can't get access, man. I hear that all the time. It's impossible for access. It's not impossible. But I would say that it would cost quite a lot of money because it would have to be a long project. Oh, all right, fuck it. Let's go a little bit longer. Fuck it. Why not? People are still doing the super chat. I don't want to fucking just be like, yeah, thanks, bye. True journalism is still out there. Stay awesome, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Please, I hope to fuck. That is, what is that? You shouldn't send us that much. How much is that? Unless you're rich, I'm refunding that, bro. Oh, it's 20 quid. Okay, good. It said 169. I was like, fuck, man. Okay. How do you make calls on your safety on stories? You've been to Ukraine a couple of times, been close to shooting, shelling. How do you draw the line? Yeah, when I went to Ukraine, proper front line, I was a bit younger. I think I was like 27, 28, and 29 when I was there, covering the war before the invasion. And I was just fucking reckless, man. Not reckless. Actually, I wasn't reckless at that age. I was reckless when I was like 24, 25. I wasn't reckless. I was just like fearless. And you don't want to be fearless in a war. Like if someone's like, if I see at war now, someone that I'm like, that guy is not scared. I'm not working with you. I don't want you near me. I don't want to be close to you. I want you to get the fuck away from me. I wouldn't be that rude to them, but you know what I mean? Because I'm like, you're going to get me fucking killed. Fearlessness will get you killed. You know what I mean? Being aware of your surroundings and being humble, and not that I wasn't humble, but you know what I mean? Like understanding that you will die. You know, like you think you're a journalist and you won't die, you will die. Yeah, so I guess I'm just a lot more careful now. Man, I cannot believe how many fucking super chats. This is fucking mad. I thought they'd be like one or two. Mad. Thank you very, very much. That is much appreciated. Saying that, I get it. I've done super chats and shit. Like, if there's an independent creator I like, I support them all the time. Like, I'm like, yes. Like, you know, huge fan of your work. Was first introduced to you from the Women's War. Thanks for doing what you do. Yeah, that was a very cool project, man. That's when I worked with Robert Evans in Rojava. Want to do another project with Robert Evans like that. I think he's fucking good. He knows what he's doing, and it was good fun to work with him. And he's a friend. You know, he's a nice guy. You know, we have different agreements. We disagree on a lot of things and whatever, but he's a good guy. Jake, streaming career real. Do you know what? If I could get paid to like you know, like what Hassan does, like what's his name, Hassan Abi, or like actually no, I don't want to talk politics, but if I get paid to sit there, play fucking games, and like get paid millions, you would never see me at war again. I like covering this. That's just a lie. I fucking would. I like doing it, but you know what I mean. It'd be great. Do you like films with gladiators? Nah, man, I'm not into that kind of shit. I don't like. I like films. I like very like crime, like thrillers, stuff like that. Like, or actually, well, one of my favorite films actually is not a thriller, I guess, but yeah, it is. You know, Pi by Aronofsky. That's a great film. We were gonna work with Aronofsky. Aronofsky fucking reached out to Popular Front and was like, I like what you're doing. You know, we want to work with you. And then like over like it was like I was like, okay, like here's some ideas, and I'm like, okay, and then like it just they kept kind of being like, yeah, we want to work with you, we want to work with you, we want to work with you, and then they just kind of, I was a bit impatient. I was like, look, like, do you want to work with us or not? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. We were a lot smaller then as well, and I felt like if you're that big, you're reaching out to us and saying you want to work with us. You can't leave us hanging, man. You know what I mean? You can't leave us hanging. Plus, there was other projects. I was like, do I do it myself? Do they want to do it or whatever? And I was kind of like, look, like I feel like you guys are kind of like disrespected us a bit by reaching out and then just kind of ghosting us. And they were like, we're busy. We don't feel that way. You know, good luck with everything. Basically, fuck off. But the guy was a nice guy. He was a good guy. It's probably my fault for being too impatient. Looking back, it's probably me being a fucking twat. But you know, I didn't really kind of feel anyway about it. It was like, okay. But Aronofsky's fucking Pi is a great fucking film, man. Darren Aronofsky, yeah, he reached out to us, or his company. They were like, yeah, he likes your stuff. Da, da, da. And I kind of fucked it up, I think, by being impatient. But you can't regret shit, you know. I mean, if he really wanted to work with us, he would have worked. He would have come through quicker. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure if he wants to work with us again, he probably will. He might hit us up. I don't know. Have you come into contact with LNR, DNR troops, DPR, DNR? If so, were they hostile towards you? Yeah, man, I did a whole documentary in the Next People's Republic with Vice. One of the last things I ever did for them. I'm proud of that documentary. It's really good, in my opinion. We kind of showed, I mean, they tried to take us on this wild goose chase. It was like being in fucking North Korea. You couldn't go anywhere without a fucking minder. Nonsense, fucking lunatics. They claim to be this like leftist utopia. Everyone there is obsessed with like the LGBT community. Like they ask you, like this literal Russian commander was like asking us how do you live in gay Europa? How can you stand it? And I was like, what the fuck is gay Europa? And then obviously, I think everyone knows what that is now, but this was like 2018, 2017, actually. And he was just like, oh, how do you live in Europe with all these gay people there? And I was like, it's not a fucking problem. What is your problem? You know what I mean? I mean, I was behind enemy lines, so I was kind of like, yep, well, it's okay with me. You know, and he was like, oh, you're weird. And I was like, okay, like, please don't fucking execute me. And that was in a cafe with like this fucking Stalin portrait, which was really funny. But yeah, it's a fucking shithole. It's a bandit country, and it's very funny when you see like tankies kind of acting like the DNR is like this fucking communist utopia. It's about as far from a communist utopia as you can get, man. It's fucking crazy. It's like hyper localized capitalism and banditry, and they traffic women through the only hotel that you're allowed to live in there. They're allowed to stay in. It's a fucking shithole. But you know, I mean, the DNR, some of the troops I met were actually pretty nice. They're pretty friendly. But again, you know, it's not that I hated them, but I don't like what that place stands for. But that's kind of irrelevant. We did go there with an open mind, like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Maybe it's not. You know, I'm very aware that like people bullshit and they make things seem worse than they are in the kind of, you know, Western mainstream news. It just happens. So I was like, yeah, all right, let's go and see. Went with my best friend Phil. Used to work with Vice a lot. Phil Pendlebury, great filmmaker, and you know, we were both very open-minded about like, let's actually see what they got to fucking say. We got there and it was like, can't move, you can't piss without somebody watching you almost, you know. It was a total just a bizarre place, man. It was very weird place. Like you couldn't move. Like they wouldn't, you couldn't even go to the shop without a minder. They were basically like watching our every move. They faked all these things, like they took us somewhere. They were like, this old lady's house was bombed, and just recently it turns out actually the house was bombed a while ago, and they leave it there so people can see it. She doesn't even live there. She was saying that she loves Zakharchenko, who was the leader at the time. He got kind of pink misted by Moscow, I think. And yeah, like she looked at this photo of him and she was like, is that him? And we were like, she's like, it's not him. And then them guys, the miners were like, it is him. We brought you this newspaper with this picture on him. So I was like, well done. You've just exposed yourself that you've literally brought this to her. She doesn't actually give a fuck about him. She didn't even know who he really was. And then they took us to a weird front line. And long story short, they faked a shootout, which was just mad, man. It's a very odd place. Yeah. You going on Low Res podcast again soon. Always fun hearing you guys talk movies. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to him, man. Jay Corrales, known as Low Res Wonder Bread, one of the first ever motherfuckers that ever helped me with Popular Front. Very good guy and a very cool up and coming real like fiction film director. He's got a film coming out called Mass State Lottery, and I've seen about it, and I think I got a role in it. Like I don't know if he used it or not, but he asked me. He wanted to. There was like a conspiracy theorist radio guy. He wanted to be a Brit or something, and he got me to record these lines, and he's going to put it in the film. I was like, that's cool, man. Like I'll do that for him, help him out. Very good guy. I like him a lot, and he's very funny. You know, he's probably a little bit too edgy for some people, but I know who he is. I know about him, and he's not like some fucking right-wing lunatic or anything like that. He's a very good person. Yeah. What did you talk with Copa 90 about? Yeah, fucking Copa 90, right? No, it's nothing to do with the people I actually worked with on that day. They're all good people. Eli, especially, good lad, and all them lads. But so I recorded this podcast with Copa 90, right? In fact, let me take a photo of that and send it to Jay Flores. So yeah. Oh Jesus, what's this? So Copa 90, they asked me to go down. I go down to London. It cost me about £100 on the train because it was last minute. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Copa 90 is cool. I don't like football, but I like Copa 90. It's funny to explain. Like Mundial, I love them lads. Love Mundial, and I don't really like football that much. And yeah, and so anyway, I like kind of what Copa 90 stands for. I've watched a lot of the Copa 90 documentaries because especially Eli's, he covers, or how do you say, is it Eli? Ellie, you say his name. Can't remember. Anyway, covers like ultra scenes, and I really liked his Napoli stuff and whatever. He had some funny stories about like Hamburg hooligans and stuff. So we go down and we record this really fun podcast. They cut kind of little bits out of it and put it on the socials, and then just never fucking released the podcast. So I asked him, I was like, what the fuck's going on? And apparently the guy that runs the podcast thing like quit, like literally right after I don't know, for whatever reason he quit. Probably after having to fucking listen to me. And then they just kind of left it. And it's like, mate, it takes an hour to edit a podcast. Pull your fucking socks up, you know. So yeah, thanks, Copenhagen. I spent 100 quid on the fucking train. You didn't even put it out. Bother them. Message people from Copenhagen, be like, where's the Jake Hanrahan interview? It was a funny interview. It was really fun, you know. It was funny. Was he the Don who interviewed Mum Key Jones? I have no idea what this is about. Was the commander called Givi? He's mincemeat now. Yeah, Givi was one of the commanders. Givi and Motorola both got their heads blown off. Givi was, so in the DNR, in the Danish People's Republic, the main two commanders were Givi and Motorola. I was in the DNR, but them two were the commanders, actually. And we missed Motorola, like, by a day. Apparently, he was in the same area that we went to. We actually met with, what was his fucking group called? Motorola's group. It's named after a computer game. Fuck! It's a game I like as well. Someone tell me. Motorola's battalion in the DNR. Sparta Battalion, yes. And that was named after and then Sparta, yeah. And then Givi had Somali Battalion. That was Givi. Yeah, someone here said Somali. That was Givi. Motorola's was Sparta. Metro reference. That's it. Great game. Who's that? This has got to be a friend of mine. Oh, it's not. Anyway, ignore that. Yeah, so Givi was the commander of Somali Battalion, one of the biggest battalions in the DNR. He was killed second. He was killed with an RPO Schmel, I think it's how you pronounce it, which is like this weird thermo weapon. Once it's fired, it literally sets the air on fire. So they fired this grenade into his office, and it set the fucking air on fire and fried him. And I'm laughing because this guy is a piece of shit. You know, he was filmed committing war crimes. He was filmed torturing Ukrainian prisoners of war. And yeah, he's toast now. You know, he got toasted. And then similar happened to, I was actually writing an article about this for Foreign Policy at the time, but then I just couldn't be asked in the end. I remember the editor coming back with all these fucking weird notes, and I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm not doing it. And Motorola, he got his head blown off in a lift shaft, so he got up to his flat. Oh, fuck, my chair's broke, that's cool. Got up in a lift shaft, and as he come out, the fucking bomb went off. Head gone. Left the room. Two scumbags. Total fucking scumbags. Have I heard of Kareem Zidane? He covers MMA and Kadyrov. Yes, everybody hates him, right? I've seen some footage where people just fucking hate him. I don't hate him. I don't know who he is, but I have seen him I don't like MMA. It's not my thing. I really enjoy Muay Thai, and I love Muay Thai and I love boxing, but probably Muay Thai more. I mean, I do Muay Thai. I did boxing for years, just because I had my first Muay Thai fight when I was about like 15. And I was just fucking shit. You know, like I couldn't get the legs going. But I always liked Muay Thai, and then I came back to it years later after just doing boxing for a long time. To go from boxing to Muay Thai is tricky because, like, this guy, and like, you know, like I had to. You have to like rework things and relearn things. But no, I don't watch MMA. I'm not really into it. There's some Muay Thai fighters that now are like in MMA, like Stamp Fairtex. I'll watch her. She does MMA, but she, you know, there's more money in the MMA. But this groundwork shit, I'm not interested, man. Like, I think it's a lot more honorable to stand up and fight, and more interesting to watch, especially Muay Thai, like above kickboxing. You know, kickboxing is 4 points, 4 point. You know, I think they do kicks and punch, whereas, you know, Muay Thai is elbows, knees, kicks, punch. And yeah, and it's just like, and also the whole culture behind Muay Thai is just like, you know, the human weapon, all this kind of stuff. All the way back to like the wars, and like it's just so fascinating to me. I think that's really cool. But I do love boxing as well still. But I actually watch more Muay Thai now than I watch boxing. But you can't get as good Muay Thai stuff. Unfortunately, just to make money, they have to go into MMA. You know, and there's like a great Muay Thai fighter, Sanchai, which I love watching him. And it's like he'll never get the money that he should, you know, because he doesn't do the MMA, or at least I don't think he does. The floor work is derived from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, I mean, it is. I do think it's kind of cool, but I just, more honorable is not the right word. I shouldn't say more honorable. There's nothing honorable about either way, but it's just, I just don't I don't know. I just think it's not my thing. It's that simple. If I did it, I'd probably like it, maybe, but I've never. I don't know, man. I've been even in the clinch, like even my like Thai boxing, you can clinch very close and knee and move the person around. I'm fucked. Like I'm destroyed, you know. Like I'm knackered, man. So I don't know how they do all this stuff. Um, Hi, Jake. Ideologically, how have you changed from your experiences abroad? That's a good question. I mean, I don't think you mean politically, right? Probably not, but I think I just got a lot more. I was always a cynical person, even as a kid, man. I was like, I'm just like a right horrible guy. Not horrible. Like I don't think I'm horrible. I just like I remember even being in school and people would say things and I'd be like, oh yeah, well, but what about this? Like a contrarian for a long time. I must have been a really annoying teenager. Um, and I think like cynicism, I would say, yeah, not horrible or anything, like just cynical. And I think it made me more cynical, like going out and well, it did both actually. It made me more cynical, less cynical. It made me more cynical in the way that it's like everything's fucked. Like there's no there's no way things are gonna get better on a global scale. It's not happening. Never. The idea that humans are inherently good, I think, is fucking nonsense as well. But also, I think the idea of good and bad is a very like it's not an accurate concept, you know. But I guess it made me more cynical in the way of like, I mean, there's reporters I know. They'll go to a certain country, someone will be nice to them, cook them a dinner, talk dramatically, entertain them in a way that they've never been entertained because a lot of them are from very privileged backgrounds where everything's prim and proper and quiet. And they'll be enlightened by this and they'll see it and go, wow, this is incredible. And it is, it's great to be around charismatic people. But then they kind of then go, isn't it great here? And sometimes I'm like, no, it's fucking shit. This guy's fun, but he's a fucking liar. He's doing this, he's doing that. You know what I mean? And it's like people get enamored by like the dumbest shit, and war reporters even. And that shit made me more cynical because I would see and I think this guy's a fucking asshole. I see exactly what he's doing, and it's not going to pull the wool over on me. And then you look around and all these reports like, wow, this guy's amazing. The amount of people I have heard war reporters go, isn't he amazing? Isn't that guy amazing? Isn't this person amazing? I'm like, no, they're a fucking asshole. They're amazing to you because you got something out of them. And that's the weird thing. Oh, this guy helped you make your film and he got you access to something. It means he's good at his job. Doesn't mean he's amazing. Doesn't mean he's a good person. And that's the same concept anywhere in the world. And it's like, why then when you leave, do you start seeing everybody as your own special gift? They're normal people with real lives and real expectations and real faults. And there's a real problem to have this, like, it's a very, like, it is actually a kind of white colonial mentality in a way of seeing, like this person is different, so they're a present for you. Like, no, they're not. Stop it. Like, they're real people. And by pretending that they're just great, it's actually bullshit. It's like, that's not real. So that made me more cynical. And I tell you what, if I hear another fucking conversation about food, I will never eat again. Like you go to certain countries and the reporters basically it's this way of they're not talking to you, they're talking out loud. They're actually going, look how cultured I am, look how much I know. The locals are gonna love me if they know I love this. No, they're not, because the locals are normal people and they're not fucking impressed with you either way. They don't care if you know about their food. They don't care. They're just gonna go, oh, cool, you like our food, because they're normal people, they're not your gift. But they'll be like, oh, yeah, wasn't the falafel there the best falafel you've ever had in the world? Let's talk about hummus for 20 hours. Fucking boring, bro. It does my head in. That shit drives me around. And it's not specific to any place. It's not about, and I'm not talking about the people there. I'm talking about like reporters talking over people to project how fucking cultured they are. And that shit drives me mad. Like, it's so boring, you know. And you know, it's so funny. I've worked with so many people like abroad, and you know, like a lot of I always usually make good friends with fixers, because they've had it up to here with that kind of stuff from foreign reporters. And sometimes all it takes is, you know, this report will be going on and on, clearly trying to court favor with the fixer, and I just look at them like. And they laugh because they're smart fucking people. They're dealing with the hardest shit ever. They're in a fucking war. They're not going to be impressed by your like showboating. So I'm always like, this fucker. And they're like, they'll laugh and they'll be like, brother, yes, I know. You know what I mean? And it's like, you kind of you bond over recognizing that everyone's full of fucking shit a lot of the time. And I think that for me was a bad thing to learn, and it made me very cynical. But it made me cynical in a different way. It almost made me cynical against my own career and against my own industry. and it made me more warmer to the people I meet out there in these places, because they're just as switched on as anybody, and they're just playing the game as well a lot of the time. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They're like doing what they have to do to get their situation seen. And I think that's like really respectable. You know what I mean? It's like working with these people, working out the best way to do it, and that's just fascinating. And also, as much as war helps the baddest people ever thrive, it also brings out the best people ever. I used to think it was just the bad people that thrived, and then I saw so much stuff that I realized, like, nah, the good people really thrive there as well, and they can't help but thrive in that environment. Because and it's not bad. I know I just said bad versus good isn't that simple. I don't maybe mean bad or good, but there are people that are just awful, evil, and they thrive in war. But then there are people that they'll just do what's right, and they really thrive in war as well, and that's really, really cool. Yeah. Thoughts on Bald and Bankrupt? Not a fan. Orientalism, yes, Josh Judge. Orientalism, that's it. That's basically that fucking rant that I went on. Yeah, that's exactly it in one word. Yeah, there's a lot of Orientalism going on in war reporting, and I dislike it. And I really dislike this idea of, especially like with liberal shit, like people will really try and paste neoliberal ideology onto a place that just doesn't have it, doesn't care for it, doesn't want it, probably wouldn't do well with it. And it's like, are you that fucking rude that you think your ideology should then be like projected onto people that are in a completely different place and that have, probably been fucked by the same ideology, or at least the countries that profess to have that ideology? Yeah. Why is Bald bad? I didn't say he's bad. I said I'm not a fan. Not particularly interested in that. Are you planning on doing more work with other podcasters? I heard your work from Ari Shafir's podcast. Cool. I'm glad you did. A lot of people were like, don't go on there. He's too edgy. Like, fuck off. Boring. So I went on it, and he gave us a good platform, and we actually got a lot more patrons from it. We got like, a lot of good people came to us from there, and it was really cool. And there's a very few things these days that I won't go on, like unless I won't go on any like right wing shit, like some fucking bullshit like that, or I won't go on like someone that I think has like a very strong agenda, or someone that wants to have me on to like combat me and like gotcha, all that shit. That I'm not interested in. I don't care about that. And it's like I don't want to fucking, I don't want to be engaged with like this kind of like hyper political debate either. But like people will help you out in ways that you don't realize. Like I went on the James English podcast. What's it called now? Fuck. I think it's called Anything Goes. And he's just had anyone on there. He doesn't agree with them always. He doesn't disagree with them. Whatever. He has them on there. And people are like mocking it, like being really snobby, like, oh, why would you go on there? Why would you go on there? And it's like, how fucking snotty are you? Do you know why I go on there? Because all the young lads from the area that I am from listen to that, for better or worse. And if I can go on there and say what I think is right and maybe change their mind or something, or bring them towards my work and they change their worldview, then yeah, I'll go on it. Sorry that you're so fucking snotty that you want to laugh about it. It's like, who the fuck are you, you fucking snob cunts? And basically, I had more people from my area be like, yes, bro, like I saw you on the James English podcast. I was in the gym and the boys were like, yes, mate, we'll see you on there. Like, we're proud of you. Like the Thai boxing gym. And it's like, that's really nice. And it's like, they're never going to watch me on fucking HBO. They're never. And like, how unbelievably elitist even people that, perceive themselves as not being, to turn their nose up at me going on the James English podcast. I mean, get the fuck out of here, And he was a nice fella, man. I don't know much about him, but he was nice. He was cool. He was fine. And off the back of that, I got offered onto a new podcast recently. I was down there yesterday in London onto like this thing on Global. And then off the back of that, I had some talk with a producer. And he was like, you know what? You should do some stuff for us. Cool. I've probably got some work off the back of being on that. But I shouldn't have done it because somebody said, no, don't go on that. Because why? Because you're a snob. Like it's whatever. I don't know. But anyway, oh fuck, 2 hours, absolutely done. That's crazy. 2 hours. I'm gonna get a headache. I've got to go gym. Right, thank you everybody. Really do appreciate it. Really, really Love how down to earth you are. Your work is always fantastic. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate it. I mean, I don't know if I am down to earth or whatever. I'm very against snobbery, you know. I'm a snob with films. I'm a massive snob with films and entertainment. You know, like two of my real good friends, Sam and James, the stuff they watch, I'm like, they watch fucking shit what they like. But it's like I know that I'm just like a snob with like entertainment, you know, stuff like that. But in terms of, well, I'm not a snob, but I just know what needs to be done to make it good, and there's so little effort put in sometimes, I think. But you always recommend good films. Thank you. What was I going to say? Suggest a good film that I just watched, but I can't think of one. Do you know what's good? Copenhagen Cowboy. It's not a film. It's a new series by Nicholas Winding Refn. Last episode, didn't care for it, but it's good. It's good. It's interesting. Someone sent 100,000 idea. What kind of currency is that, man? Fucking hell, 100,000. What is it like? I hope it's not like. I mean, if you get sent 100,000, you're rich. But I guess it's like, what's that? 100,000 IDR in GBP. £5. Indonesia, no way. Shout out to Indonesia, mate. I actually wanted to do a doc there. The hooligans in Indonesia are fucking mental. It's Nate from the Discord. I did not know you're from Indonesia. What's happening, bro? Appreciate what you do. Pivot through the breath fresh air. You reckon the Indonesian punk scene will be a good fit for Bando? Yes, literally, definitely, 100%. There's a great I absolutely before I go, let me just recommend you this documentary I watched recently. One of the best things I've ever seen. If I could make something that good, I don't think in my career I could ever make something that good. I'd be very happy if I ever could. Skinhead documentary Indonesia. Let me just get the name right. It's not Indonesia. Fuck. Skinhead documentary. I think it was on Dazed. Malaysia. Sorry, man. That's really what a typical fucking white guy thing to do. Indonesia is like Malaysia, right? Okay, right. Yeah. So it's called. So to look it up, it's called Disciples by Jess Cole. One of the best documentaries, fucking incredible. It's about two opposing skinhead subcultures in Malaysia. So it's about Nazi skinheads versus Sharps, anti-fascist skinheads. Fucking incredible documentary. Just, I wish I could do this kind of stuff. I could, but you need a lot of money, you know. Popular this. So if you watch that documentary, Disciples by Jess Cole, my dream is to make Popular Front documentaries with the content we make, hosted still, but with this level of artistry. It's fucking incredible. You gotta watch it. Disciples. Jake can't leave. Yeah, because it's cool. It's very cool that Disciples by Jess Cole. Yeah, someone said it. It's very cool that people actually engage in. Like, it's very humbling, actually, because I've been saying I watch a lot of live stream shit. I watch Limmy like every fucking day. Right. Anyway, it's spelled Jess Cole chat. Yeah, KHOL. All right, laters. I'm gonna go, everybody. How the fuck do I actually? Oh yeah. All right. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it. If you want to support us, as always, patreon.com/popularfront is the best way. Thank you very much. There's a podcast episode dropping tonight on there if I can get the laptop charged. I don't know what's up with it, but yeah. End, for fuck's sake, end.